I think I'm live. I think I'm live. I don't know. I think I'm live. So I'm doing an unboxing. I'm doing an unboxing. I've done one of these. Like I haven't done an official unboxing video in a while. Why? Because I'm getting bored of unboxing videos, so I'm not doing them anymore. But now I have a bunch of stuff I have to open up, and I need to document it. And the best way to document it, tip tip number one for the video: get it on video when you're opening up, especially if you bought it from somebody on eBay or somewhere else, to prove the way you received your books. That way you don't have any problems. That way you don't have any problems. And when you need to dispute it, you can actually give it. I'll get into it. I'll get into it in the video. I'll give you guys. I'll give you guys some advice as I'm unboxing. But let's play a clip. Let's play a video. Let's play an intro. I haven't done this in a while. Wait, what the hell? What? Go. Well, you saw the intro. I haven't done that in a long time. So there you go. There you go. Well, yes. This is a rarity. We're doing it a Sunday morning, and it's not in continuation of an insomniac. We just made a quick video. I know that you're gonna do your. I know that you're gonna do your preaching today. I'll end the video before you do your preaching. That way, all the gazillions of viewers go to your video and see it. And I'll tell everybody to do that when I'm done. But but I needed to get this. I needed to get this on. I needed to document opening up some of my shit. There's some of the stuff I bought because it's stacked up. I need to open up. I need to see what the hell I got. I need to see if I got ripped off. I need to see if I got the good stuff, I got the bad stuff, or whatever. All right. I got some stuff from eBay, and I got some stuff from whatnot. I haven't opened it up. I need to open it up now. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open up. Hello, Joe. I believe that he always does his. I think he does his Sunday sermons every Sunday. So there you go, there you go. I listen. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. That's what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna open up stuff. I'm gonna open up stuff, and I'll tell you something. So I'm gonna get into this. First of all, I want to be very clear with everybody. There's a method to my madness. I like to put my unboxings on video, preferably live. Why? Why? Because when I unbox things and I get something, let's say from like an eBay or something like that, and I have to dispute it for some reason or another because it didn't come correct, it got broken, or whatever the case is, or wrong item, blah 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 blah. They always ask you for proof. Okay, and if you don't have proof, it's your word against the other person. So if I open it up live, unfiltered, guess what? There's proof. And it's always worked for me anytime I've had a lot of problems with eBays in the past, or whatever the case is. But anyway, I'm just saying. It's a tip. It's a tip. It's a tip. Okay? Well, I got the saw just in case I need it. Sometimes you need a saw. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do need a saw. Depends. Let's see how we'll open it up. That's how we're gonna do it. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let's open up. Let me put the cigarettes away so I don't get smoke all over my freaking comics. All right. No more smoking, at least for a while. Okay. Let's put this away. Ah. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm not sure what's from where, unless they wrote on the boxes. So I got a bunch of stuff. This one I know what it is. I think I know. This one came in from. This one came in from Comics Elite. Okay, I'm from Whatnot, and the reason I got this was I ended up. All right, so here's the thing. Sometimes you go onto Whatnot and you go onto Whatnot sometimes. You go onto Whatnot sometimes. You go onto Whatnot sometimes, and you get a giveaway. You win a giveaway. I win. All right. So I'm one of these guys that, like, I hate winning something, especially from somebody that's selling stuff, and that I've never I have bought from them before, but like I felt like a troll to get the giveaway and not buy anything. By the way, for all you people that do giveaways, it's a way to get people to get something without paying extra shipping on whatnot. So sometimes it's a smart thing. So I felt obligated to buy something. I bought like the cheapest thing that was on his buy it nows, and just because. So I don't remember exactly what I bought, and I don't remember what the giveaway was. But let's see if I could jog my memory. Okay, let's see if I could jog my memory. All right. Ooh, look at this. The sauce cutting through like butter, like butter, like butter. All right, like butter, butter. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. And a nice Gemini. A nice Gemini. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Comics Elite's pretty decent. You know, I don't really have a big problem with them. Uh, so let's do this proper. First off, let's do this proper. They put they put they put an invoice in there, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. All right. So they put an invoice in there. Okay. All right. All right, all right. So I remember what I got. Okay, so I believe this was the giveaway. It was a Star Wars number 24, Luke Skywalker, Tyler Christopher action figure variant. Pretty cool, huh? All right, that's what I got. So, like I said, I felt like I feel like a douche just taking that. I don't know. There was nothing. They were selling whole lot of moderns, exclusives, and stuff like that, and like variants. I wasn't into anything, but I did find this for $4 on there. So, like, I bought this set right here. I bought this set right here. There was a set of Star Wars 31, and it's the Governor Sile Bible action figure variant. I don't know. I get this freaking action figure variant cover fetish. Something, and I got the 40 years of Return of the Jedi cover for 31 as well, which I have a fetish for those as well. So I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It's awesome. It's awesome. Uh, but how you call it? There's certain covers that I like. I like these action figures variants. I like these nostalgic 40-year anniversary covers. So there you go. Nice little bundle. The whole thing cost me $4. Got it from Comics Elite, and I really don't have a problem with them. I think they're pretty good. So there you go. There's my endorsement for them. Okay. All right. So endorsement number one: they don't suck. Okay, Comics Elite, you don't suck. You're good. Okay. All right. Hello, TM. How are you? TM sends a super chat of $10. No, you didn't. You did? How is that possible? I don't even have a super chat. How is that possible? How is that possible? I have a super chat. I've been demonetized. So how do I have a super chat? The hell is he talking about? The hell's he talking about? Okay. All right. All right. All right. There you go. Okay. So next box. Next box. Yes, it is very nostalgic. It is very nostalgic, Joe. You fucking with me? You freaking Sasquatch? You're freaking fucking with me? Huh? All right. All right. I don't do breakfast with Journey. I don't do that stuff. You want breakfast here? Coffee. I have cigarettes too. I could do that. Coffee and cigarettes in the morning. There you go. Breakfast champions. All right. All right. So I got another box here. This one is probably another whatnot. It looks too finely packed to be from eBay. Let's see. Too finely packed to be from eBay. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. All right. This one I can't recognize who it came from because it's in the actual name. It's not a company name. So, and I don't recognize the person's name. It might have been the first time that I got. Let's see what I got. I know that I got a couple things from whatnot that I seriously regret, and I'll get into when I open them up. Maybe this will be one of them. Fucking tabs, asshole. Whoever opened this, tabs go a long way. Okay, long way, and don't use shitty blue tape. Use the good blue tape that doesn't stick all over the place. All right. Who is this guy? This guy's from one. All right. So what do I got here? All right. The fuck? The more Star Wars shit. Why did I get more? Okay. All right. So this is what I got. All right. So this was whatnot, and it came in from a thing called Slabtown. Okay. Slabtown. Okay. All right. So this is their gimmick. They were doing some mystery pulls. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna give everybody a warning right now. Okay. So when you do these mystery pulls, this is what they wrote down. On the mystery pulls. Each pull gets you one or two or more entries in the prize wheel. $5 floor, ceiling 75, average $18. Okay. And I bought two of these at $15 a piece. It cost me. Okay. Why? Because this is why you don't go in the middle of the night with a credit card on places, because you do stupid things. Okay. All right. So I've got these things. Okay. What the hell is this? I think I got. Okay. This is weird. I don't know where this came from. I don't know why I have this, but this here, this looks like a Tyler Kirkham Star Wars High Republic. But these are the ones I got. It is to number 24 and number 13. Okay. So this, I guess, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why this is here. I don't know why this is here. I don't remember. He threw it in because he felt mercy that I got shit. I don't know. So the first thing that I got was my pick number 13. I don't know what this is. It's Scarlet Witch and it's a virgin cover, and that's it. Okay. Doesn't say on the back what the hell it is. Let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see if we're gonna figure this out. Let me see if we're gonna figure this out. Strange Academy Finals number 3. Strange Academy Finals number 3, and it is Unknown Comic Street Level Hero Comic Trader 616 Comics Anti-Hero fucking Anti-Hero Gallery. I can't stand those motherfuckers. Anyway, so that's what I got. This cost me $15. This thing. This. Was it worth it? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know if this shit was worth it or not, but this is what it cost me. Okay, is it worth it? I don't know. It says that the bottom is $5. I'm probably believing that this is like a $5 thing, and the ceiling is 75. It's definitely not 75. Average is 18. I don't know. Maybe it's 18. I have no idea. I don't know. Whatever the fuck. Whatever. Anyway, and then the second one I got is this Web of Venom. You want to know who the artist is? It is a nice cover. It is a nice cover. I don't know. Let me see who the fuck did this. Somebody did this. Somebody did this. Who did this? Rich, something Rich, Sabine Rich. I think it's Sabine Rich. I think it's Sabine Rich. Okay, Sabine Rich. So this TM, this is a package I got from what on Whatnot from a vendor called Slab Tower. Slab Tower, okay? Slab Tower. Okay. And then the second one that I got here, is Web of Venom Wrath, #1. This looks like a Tyler Kirkham cover. Is this thing worth $15? I don't know. Does anybody on here or now or in the future of the replay world, if there's anybody on here that knows what these things are, if they're what they're worth, let me know. Because you know what the problem is? I can't look up half these fucking covers because they're exclusives and they don't show up in anybody's fucking thing. And everybody makes up their own prices of what they're worth. That's the problem. That's the problem with half these covers. I don't know how to look them up. It's a pain in the ass. Anyway, would I do this again? No. Would I do it again? No. You know? But, hey, that's what I get for being a freaking gambler, okay? Nothing against the guys that sold it. At least they threw this fucking thing in there for me. I have a copy of this. I have a copy of this signed, though, by Tyler Kirkham. That's the reason I know it's Tyler Kirkham. This one's not signed, but I have one that's signed. But this one's not signed. But I have one that's signed. Okay. Okay. $5. Yeah, there you go. $5. And $10. Yeah, you see, it's like whatever. You know, you know what? When I do my Whatnot sale, I'll put these all three of these up. It's starting at $5 a piece, and whoever wants them because I don't want them. I don't need these fucking things, and I just showed everybody. I paid freaking $15 a piece for them, so somebody might be happy at the end of the day because of them. I don't know. Not me. Not me. It's what I get for freaking just keep buying shit. All right, so we got another one over here. This one's from Godzi. I think there's another Whatnot one, and then I start getting into I think this is the last Whatnot one, and then I start getting into the eBay ones. Okay. All right, so this one, so Gonzi, another Whatnot guy. Gonzi. Let's see what Gonzi. All right. So we're cutting. All right, you got a Gemini in here. What the fuck? They put saran wrap all over this. I got one package I'm dreading to open up. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna find in there. The guy cover what are we keeping the comics fresh? Is that what we're doing? We're making sure that we get all the juices to stay in. Is that what we're doing with the freaking saran wrap? What the hell? What do we need saran wrap here? What the hell? This is what, titanium saran wrap? There we go. All right. So, oh shit! I think I cut my hand. Okay. All right. So this garbage. Okay. And then we gotta do this guy. No. Okay. And then we gotta open up here. By the way, while I'm doing this, I just want to put a big shout out to X11 Bravo. Came to my attention that he's been putting together a list, like almost like a TV guide list for live streaming shows. So basically, what he's doing is trying to compile a list of people that have scheduled live streams, so you could know when people are going to be streaming or not. That's a pretty cool idea, concept. Unfortunately, that doesn't really help me much, and it doesn't do. I can't really participate much in that because I only stream live when I feel like it. I don't I don't have a preset time because I'm me. Okay, that's why. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah, I guess. I guess it prevents some water damage. It's a lot of freaking saran wrap. I never used saran wrap. Maybe I should start using saran wrap. What do you guys think? Should we use saran wrap whenever we mail shit out? Maybe. Hey, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe we'll go saran wrap. Look at all this freaking blue tape, please. Not this shit tape. Please, please, please. Especially if you're professional. Whatnot, guys. You're professional. You gotta do the right way. Okay. Okay. This guy packed it up. Look. He put it in a little gift package. Look. Little tissue paper. Little Christmas paper he put in there. All right. They put a little Christmas paper. Okay. We got little Christmas paper. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Let's see what we got here. We got the Patriot Flipper. This came from the Patriot Flipper. Okay. I think I remember this guy. Okay, so let's see what we got here, and I'll tell you what I got. Or I'll tell you what I got. Good morning, Izzy. I'm surprised I actually see people coming on right now because like I said in the beginning of the day, I'm just doing this to document the shit that I opened up to make sure that you know I'm doing. Oh, this I remember this. This is a whole bunch of horse shit that I got here. Okay. All right. So this was a big mistake that I bought here. Okay. I think it was. All right. Yeah, maybe I'll jog my memory. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh about this. So basically, here they got mystery packs. Okay. Because why I bought a mystery pack? Because I'm a freaking asshole. I buy mystery packs. All right. So I bought a mystery pack, and the floor is $4. Okay. The ceiling is $120. The average is $23. I bought one for $28 and I bought one for $27. Why? Because I'm an asshole. Now there were chases that were in here. There were chases in here. So let's see what I got. Okay. So this was this loose comic here. I guess was a throw-in that he put in here because whatever. He threw in a Spider-Man free comic book day. Okay. I guess that was nice of him. Okay. That was nice of him. So let's see. Mystery pack number one. What I got out of this was a Superman number one. Okay. Superman, I don't know, number one. Number four. And it's the first appearance of Bloodsport. Bloodsport. For all you Bloodsport freaks out there. It's a first appearance of that. Now, this thing cost me $27. Was it worth it? No. Okay. So I got this. And his gimmick is every time you get a thing, he throws in an extra book. Okay. So he threw in a Darth Vader, black, white, and red. Ooh, ah. Oh, all right. Were these combined worth $27? Highly doubtful. Highly doubtful. You know, he wrote some notes on the back. I like notes. First appearance of Bloodsport, April 10th, 1987. Okay. So that's what he put in there. Okay. So I think I completely don't make stupid mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. And the chases he had in there were not like, grail books in there, like worth it. Again, you go on at the wrong time with the wrong intentions, bad intentions, you end up getting stuff. All right, so I got this too. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck this is. What the fuck this is? All right, so this is some kind of black and white cover book, and of course he didn't put any. He didn't put any free. It's a 1-for-10 ratio, and it looks like turtles. Let's see, it's 1-for-10, and it looks like some kind of turtle comic. Yeah, I mean, it's all right, Some kind of turtle comic. Here's the problem. I don't know anything about fucking turtles. So let's see. By the way, look, shitty tape on the Mylar. Okay, just saying that. Uh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 5 of 5. That's what I got. 1 of 10. This is for me personally, a complete nothing burger. I hate this comic. I hate this comic. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like turtles. I don't like freaking Power Rangers. I hate this comic. I hate it. Anyway, $28. What an asshole I am. What an asshole I am. Okay. Anyway, then he threw in a Warlock Rebirth. He probably felt bad that I got a freaking whole bunch of shitty stuff. Okay. So Warlock Rebirth number 1. He threw that in there. And then, and he threw this in because he could have remembered that I actually bought stuff from him in the past. And he wrote, first time buyer freebie. Okay. Loki number 12. Nice cover. Nice vicious looking cover. But I don't know. $28. 1, 2, and this fucking monstrosity. Never again. Never again. Nothing against the guy. He's running a business. It's his prerogative to sell things the way he wants to sell them. And it's my prerogative whether I find value in them or not. And for me, I do not find value in them. This is probably the best comic I got out of the lot. No? But again, I could find this for freaking $10, $15 in the stores all day, every day, maybe $20, you know? Nothing special to me. To me. Maybe to you. Maybe to you it's special. To me, it's not special. Maybe to you it's special. Maybe to you it's special. To me, it's fuck you. I don't like it. Anyway. All right. I think I'm done with the whatnot, guys. No more. No, that was the last one over there. So let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I got a box. I think there's a slab in here. Let's see who this is. Oh, the eBay starts. Oh, let's start with the eBay stuff here. eBay. You know what, TM? I hope I can, because honestly, I'm gonna put that for sale because I hate it. I hate it. I'll probably put it for like, I don't know, $5 start, and whatever the hell I get for it, I get for it. I don't know. Some freaking turtle or Power Ranger fan. Oh, I remember what this is. This is good. Oh, this is good. This is good. I like this. Or maybe I don't like it, but okay. So this is all right. So let me tell you that what I got here. Okay. So as you can see, I got 2 slabs here. Okay. I got two slabs here. Okay. Now, I paid $80 for these. Okay. Plus shipping. I think it cost me a little under $100 altogether. Now you're gonna say, what the hell's wrong with you? Why did you buy these things? Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I bought these things. I'm gonna tell you why I bought these things. I'm gonna tell you why I bought this. First of all, what I have here is a Superman number 75. You know, when he dies. You know, he dies. He just fucking dies. Superman fucking dies. And I got it in a 9.8. Okay. It's a nice book. $40-$50. You can find it for every day, all day. Well, no problem. I like that. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much the value of half the box. Okay. But here's the thing. It came with the second book at an 8.5. So, which is a 4th printing. Now you say, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you get a 4th printing in an 8.5 and spend that money on garbage? First of all, if it was a regular book at an 8.5,
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with you. It is hot garbage. Even if it was a fourth printing at an 8.5, I would not pay that kind of money. However, there was something I felt very intrigued by. You see the label that's up there? It's brown. It's goldish. It's brown. And the reason it's brown, it's because it's part of a pedigree. It's part of a pedigree. And CGC pedigree. I never owned a pedigree book before. And I was really curious to get a pedigree book in my hands just to see what this pedigree shit was all about. So I found that this is from the Chicago pedigree. I don't know what the hell that means. This comic doesn't look like it's probably because it's a pedigree, they probably never pressed it and stuff like that. So it's probably came back in a lower grade. But I wanted to get this is the cheapest pedigree comic I ever bought in my life. So I ever seen in my life. This is the only one I ever bought and the only one I ever owned. But I wanted to have one in my collection. Just say I have a pedigree because I'm a freaking. I like to have things. Okay, so I like to have this. I probably overpaid for this. Or probably overpaid for this. I've got like a ton of raw ones like this. I might eventually either give this away or sell it or do something with this. I don't have any emotional attachment to this, so I'll probably do that to recoup most of the lot that I paid for. But for this, I like this. It's a keeper. Essentially, it cost me $40 to own this copy. It's 8.5, so it's probably not worth it. Probably, I don't know how it works with these pedigree things, what the values are and stuff like that. But I got it. It's mine. That's it. I'm not gonna sit there and freaking give reasons and stuff. I got it because I like it. Okay, I got it because I like it. That's why I got it. I think that's good enough reason. I think that's good enough for a reason. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So we got that. Put that to the side. Got a lot of shit. All right. Okay, let's get this other box out of the way. I got another box here. The fuck did I get here? By the way, I got another eBay guy that's been. Hey, Ken. Oh, you're a Superman fan? Yeah, I feel that way too. Like you got to get something. Like if there's something cool, there's something weird. I'm okay with overpaying for things to get them. I'm okay with that. What the fuck kind of? Look at this box. Like a shitty box. Like it's like a wrinkly old ass box. Why would they put a corrugated, wrinkly old ass box to ship something like that in there? It's like paper. It's not even a box. I was right. It is paper. I think it's paper because there's another box in here. So they gift wrapped a real box with shitty paper box. Yeah, you know what, Superman. You know what? I agree. He's a classic character. You just got to get him right. You know, you just got to get him right. Holy shit, this is annoying. Yeah. There you go. There we go. There we go. Okay, what do we got in here? Okay. Fucking annoying. All right. Let's open this up. Yes, you are right. Now that we know the saran wrap keeps the comics nice and fresh and waterproof, you should saran wrap everything. Everything should be saran wrap. All right, so there's another slab. All right, I'll give the last two eBayers credit for shipping correctly. This, the slabs they came in correctly. I can't beat the shit out of them. For amateur shippers, hey, I'm not gonna beat the shit out of them. What the hell did I get here? I don't remember. I hate the fact that eBayers they don't put in a invoice with the whatever they sell it because you can't keep track. Like I know what I got. I didn't have that many outstanding things, so I kind of know what I got. This is one of a couple things that are supposed to come into me. So let's see what I got here. Let's see. Again, another look. I guess this is a thing now. Everybody's like gift wrapping things with tissue paper. Hey, Merry Christmas. Tissue paper. That's interesting. Has anybody else been noticing these things? It's kind of weird, huh? I think that's kind of weird. I don't know. I never got this many tissue box paper things handed to me. You know what? Let's put a little music. I haven't put any. I haven't. I want some music. I want some music. All right. What's this? Is this good? I don't like that. This one I like. There we go. This seems very appropriate. Yeah, this is more. This is unboxing music. This sounds like unboxing music. This sounds like unboxing music. I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't. All right. That my mind hopefully everybody can hear it and you can still hear me. And it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety filling up every space, no privacy. Ooh, I know what this is. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see. Whoa. Strange Tales number 100. Moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders. Like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks. I've had enough. I don't wanna feel the there we go. Under the rug. There we go. Much better. Okay. All right. There's. All right. What the fuck is he talking? TM sends a $5 super chat. How is that possible? How is that possible? Like, I'm not monetized. How is he sending me a super chat? Is the guy fucking with me? Is he fucking with me? Somebody tell me. Is he fucking with me? What the hell's going on over here? Okay, you know what, guys? All right, you know what, guys? You know, guys, you're fucking with me and my non-monetized pain. Okay, so just for that, you know what you're gonna do? You know what you're gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you a thank you video. How's that sound? You want a thank you video? Is that what you're trying to get out of me? Right? You're trying to get a thank you video out of me? Well, here it goes. You're gonna get a thank you video out of me. How's that sound? All right, I'll give you a thank you video. You'll be yay! We got a thank you video. No.
Thank you very much,
my friends. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I want to thank you much. Thank you very. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much with your imaginary super chats. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So here's the thing. Normally, I wouldn't buy this because there's nothing that motivates me to get this more. But I was a little drunk. I was a little bit eBay, and I was a little bit like, I don't know. So I ended up getting this. It's Strange Tales number 100. I like collecting centennial covers, like 100, 200, 300, blah, blah, blah. I like getting that. Plus, it's an old Strange Tales. Okay? And it ended up costing me $50. That's the reason why I probably wouldn't have bought it, because pretty much I bought it at a value. It's like worth like $70, 70, $80 like this in this grade, maybe a little more. Not like a big freaking buy. I didn't get hurt by getting this, but at the same time, I could have put my money in a much better way. You know, but hey, it's not bad. It's in my collection. It's not hurting me. There you go. There you go. And a 1.8. It's not bad. How you doing, Evil? How you doing? And then what I got here left? I got one more thing left, I think. Yeah, I got one more thing. Oh my god, this is the worst thing. This is the worst thing I got left. Oh shit. What the fuck did I get here? All right, let's see. There's another eBayer. But look at how they sent this shit to me. Look at this. This is your eBay, typical eBay buying experience. This is how you, if you're gonna buy something on eBay, expect that you're gonna get it like this, because this is your typical thing. So far, I was blessed. I was blessed to not get monstrosities. This is where we change everything. Okay. All right. So let's see what the hell we got here. And this is what I think it is. Hopefully, I got a score on this one, and I could actually make this unboxing into something salvageable. Hopefully. Otherwise, this unboxing is gonna be a colossal fucking failure. All right. Let's see if I gamble. Oh, I just got a whiff. Raw books, and I got a whiff of Funky Monkey comic book smell. Okay. All right. This is gonna not be good because the fucking guy shipped them. Oh man, this is gonna suck. This is gonna really, really suck. All right, let me tell you guys how much I bought this lot for. I know exactly what this is. So I bought this lot for $12.50. What ended up costing me? What the fuck is this? Oh, he gave me his Lowe's receipts too. Like, you throw your garbage inside the packs when you send them out. That works out well. Okay. All right. So I bought this lot for $12.50. It cost me $10.65 for shipping. So let's do the math, mathematicians. Let's do the math. $10.65 plus $12.50. Add the 1 and the 5 and the this and then. It costs money. It costs $23.05, I believe. Well, no, $23.15. I believe it's $23.15. That's what it costs. I'm doing math in my head. Why? Because I don't need a freaking calculator to do math, or maybe I do. I don't know. Anyway, so all right. Oh my god. Oh my god. It smells like shit. Okay. All right. I gotta air these things out. I was worried about smoking. This fucking first book. Beat this shit. Okay. So, what if Spider-Man clone lived? What if number 30? I actually needed this book in my collection. Okay. So this is gonna be as long as it's complete. I gotta check if it's complete. It's beat this shit. Doesn't matter. It's a reader copy. So I'm keeping it. It's a keeper. Okay. Until I find something better. Okay. What if number 12? What if Rick Jones had become the Incredible Hulk? Notice there's a theme here. There's a theme here. Okay. There's a theme. And they're all raw, by the way. I need fucking plastic for this shit. I got this. That's going to be an extra. I have that's in better condition. This is one I that's been avoiding me because I never want to pay like more than like a couple bucks for it. So I got it now. What if the original Marvel bullpen had become the Fantastic Four? So what if number 11? And it's basically, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee actually being the Fantastic Four. It's a goofy, stupid story. kind of stuff I like. Okay, so I got that. By the way, these are all like beat to shit. Oh, this one's beat to shit too. What if number 9? What if the Avengers had fought evil during the 1950s? Huh? Huh? It's got a nice big chunk out of here. A nice big chunk. Then we got what if number 7? What if someone else becomes Spider-Man and has been bitten by a radioactive spider? There's actually some value to this one. And this one is not horrible shape. It's got a little roll, but it's not in bad shape. I don't mind this one. This one's not bad. Okay. All right. So start adding up if it's worth it or not. $12.50 I bought it. $10.65 shipping. $23.15 total cost. All in. What if Fantastic Four number 6? What if the Fantastic Four had superpowers? Okay, that's another nice one. By the way, if you haven't noticed, I'm trying to finish my Fantastic Four run. I mean, the What If one. What if number 5, the Captain America had vanished during the World War II? These are nice, fun, stupid stories. Yeah. Okay. And then what if number 4? What if the invaders had stayed together after World War II? That's another fun one. A nice little fun chunk that was eaten off the side. Bookworm, if you're watching, I'm sure you're the one that bit that piece out. All right. Okay. And then the next one is what if this actually I wanted because it got expensive for some reason and I didn't want to pay the expensive value. And this one actually was in a plastic in a backboard. Oh, look at that. Look at me. Happy me. I got it in a backboard in plastic. Now the greatest shape. Reader's copy. What if the alien costume had possessed Spider-Man? So this is a good one. I like this one. And I needed this one for the second run. All right. So I think even in this condition, it's still worth like $5, $6, $7, $10. I don't know what the fuck it's worth. No, this one's another $5 one. All the other one, like all the what ifs, they're like worth $3, $4. Even in shitty shape, people love them. So, you know, hey, son of Bruce, how you doing? All right. So next book. This is my child. This is one of my childhood books. What if number 3? It's one of my favorite books of all time. And I think I got like 4 or 5 copies of this right now. 3 at least. I don't know, because I keep giving them away, selling them, giving them away. So this one has a timestamp on March 16, 1970. Motherfucker, that sucks. If it was February, I would have kept it. Because I was born in February number 77. I didn't notice that. March 16, 1977. That's cool, actually. That's all right. That's cool. By the way, for all you freaks out there that don't know stuff, here's something for you not to know. This is the first time ever you had a whole group of Avengers that wore Iron Man armors. Everybody, for all you people that are like Iron Man freaks and want to like keep status first appearance of their stupid weird iron suits, this was one of the first ones that they did. This is a really fun story. I love this story. I have nostalgia to it, and it's a decent value book. Okay. And then the last book on the lot is What If number 1? What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? They became the Fantastic Five. That's what happens. Okay? That's what happens. All right. This one actually might be in the best shape. This one actually came in a plastic bag in the board. Shitty bag. He's got $2 on here. There's no way this I think pays off for the lot. Let's see how the shape is. Let's see if I can redeem myself for all the stupid shit I bought. Let's see. Okay. I'm not wearing gloves. Okay. Could use a cleaning. Not horrible. Even in this shape, it's not horrible. Not. If I had to give this a grade, it would be between not too shitty and kind of shitty. Okay, so good grade. You know, it's definitely not too shitty, and it's kind of shitty. It's between there. It's between not too shitty and not kind of shitty. So it's a good. It definitely gets a good grade from me. All right, let's put it into clean plastic because I have clean plastics with me here. Let's put it a clean plastic without a hair because that had a hair on it. Okay, all right. Oh, hold on. Ooh, there's a little bit of a spine. Yeah, there's a little bit of spine tear at the bottom of the back page. I didn't realize that. It's all right though. Even in this shape, even with that spine tear, still $10-15 book for somebody. So hopefully I could actually sell. I can't put it back in that plastic. I need a bigger plastic. I gotta use a Silver Age bracket board. So let's put it back in the shitty plastic. Until then. All right, you know, I might have to revise my grade to like kind of shitty. Not between. Thanks, Izzy. Appreciate it. Yeah. I'd say 4, 5, somewhere in between there. If you want to give it CGC 0.5, whatever. So this actually for $20 to $23.15, I think I was okay. Got number 1, number 3. We got the number 4, but number 4 from the second set. I don't think the guy realized it. He probably thought they were all from the same series. Number 4 from this, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 9, number 11, number 12, and number 30. Okay, so value books. This one has some value. This one has some value because I don't know, people are weird. Okay. This one has some value because Spider-Man. Okay. And this one has some value. This one has some value, and this one has the most value probably. All right. I think I did well. These are at least, if I piece them out, they're at least double to triple the value of what I bought them for. So happy me. I got to air those things out because they smell like shit. Moldy smell. I don't know what the hell they are. But that's it. I opened up my box. I opened up my boxes. Yeah, that was not bad. Overall, I've had worse unboxings. You know, I've had worse unboxings. It could have been worse. You know. Now I got to get bags and boards, make them nice, special, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. You know. So what is everybody else doing today? What are you all doing today? What are you doing today? Anybody want to hop on? I did what I was supposed to do. I unboxed. I'm out of juice. I don't have much more left. No, I don't have much more left. So if somebody wants to come in, I'll throw the link in. If not, I'll probably end in a couple minutes. Maybe. I don't know. Once I get on to rant about something. Okay. All right. So I put the link in there. I showed my shit off. Happy me. Maybe. The more I look at the Strange Tales, the more I think about it. Hey, maybe it was a good buy. I don't know. I'm happy about the pedigree. Because I never had a pedigree, so now I own a pedigree, and now I know what it's all about, and now I'm special. Now I do have that stuff, so happy me. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get a kick out of these freaking unboxing the way I used to. It kind of gets old fast. I guess that's what it is. It gets old fast. It's not fresh. It's not fresh. It's old. Unless you put saran wrap over it, then it's fresh. You know, that's pretty much what it is. Okay, that's what I'm just saying. Okay. Well, I don't know. Man. I don't know. Comics. Fucking comics. Weirdness and comics. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. Oh man. Should I play music? Should I not play music? I think Mike is gonna jump on. If he jumps on, I'll stick around. And we could chat. We could talk. We could talk about stuff. Nerd stuff. Life stuff. Comic stuff. Irrelevant stuff. Or relevant stuff. We could talk. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just kidding. There he goes. Well, good morning, sunshine.
What's up? Hold on, I gotta fix my camera.
What's going on, Mike?
What time did you start streaming?
Just about an hour ago.
Oh, okay, I'm in on that one.
Yeah, I was out last night, so I didn't stream last night. I wasn't really doing much of the YouTube thing. I had a birthday party to go to, a 40th birthday party. Because 40-year-old people, they need to have birthday parties with clowns and shit. So that's basically what I did.
They hit clowns?
I don't like clowns either. They're freaking mental
What kind
defectives.
of birthday party did you go to?
I don't know, man. It's just a stupid birthday party, man. No, I was at a freaking club that they were doing it and blah, blah, blah. You know?
So show me this pedigree you got. I heard that as I was like getting on. I didn't see that.
You want me to show the pedigree again?
Yeah, I saw the other stuff.
All right, let me show the pedigree because honestly, that was a cool vibe that I got. I don't know if I overpaid for it or not, but
Was
it
that
doesn't
the
matter.
$50?
I just wanted to have a pedigree.
Was that the Strange Tales? Oh,
No,
it's
that's-
a Doomsday? Damn.
Yeah, that's Death of Superman, fourth printing, and an 8.5.
What makes
So
it a pedigree?
Well, it's part of the Chicago pedigree, and the
Mm.
thing is, it's got that gold label that's up there.
Yeah, because it came out of a collection.
Yeah, so like that's the only reason I got because of that gold label. I wanted to see what that's all about. I actually wanted to have one in my hands, own one, and say, okay, that's like how you call it. It just I wanted to have one of these, but and then it came with this. This was the regular version, the first printing, and this was a 9.8. So most of the value, I guess, in the pack came with this thing. What's going on, baby?
If you don't
I
mind me
think
asking, how much was that?
$80 I paid for the two plus shipping and tax. I think it cost me about $100 altogether, all in.
That's not bad at all. I think that's what the regular flat cost. I think it's like
This right here, I've seen average most of the time. I've seen them like going for $40-$50 in a 9.8. They're not very expensive.
no.
No, the most I've seen them is $60-$70, but $40-$50 is probably what I would evaluate at. So let's just say $50 just to be like on the average it out. This I don't know what the fuck it's worth,
A lot more because it's the pedigree. It came from a collection.
but it's an 8.5. It's not like it's like a high grade. So I don't know. So I thought of it like this: it costs probably about $35 to send and get this thing graded in the first place. You got a pedigree label on top of it. I would say it's worth at least $30-$40, at least to me.
Yeah.
So this is a keeper. I'm gonna keep this one. Like I bought these just for this. So I'm gonna keep this because I want to have one of these books in my collection. Just because I'm an idiot and I like to have things. You know what I'm saying? So I want to have this in my collection. This, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it down the line. I'm going to probably either give it away or sell it or trade it or something. I don't know. Because I got a lot of these.
Dude,
Everybody and their mother has one of these, you know?
I don't.
Well, I'm not saying in a graded. You don't have a Death of Superman? A raw
It's a
copy?
set, it's a set I'm trying to collect. I have most of it.
You don't have a Death of Superman raw copy one?
No, well, okay, before my previous collection, because my original collection got stolen, but before I did have the whole, I mean, I bought it when it came out. I had
Oh, we got to
one.
fix that. Yeah, I'm gonna find you a copy and send one over to you. You need to have one of these shitty books in your collection. You have to.
I have some. I have some of the poly bags. I found,
Oh,
because
you do?
now they're getting all like, expensive or hard to find.
You do. All right. So I was about to say you have to have one of these freaking books. Everybody has to have one.
I don't
of
have
these.
that specific book. I have like Adventures of Superman 500. I have like 2 issues of those.
Well, that's when he comes back. No, you need one of these. I'm gonna make sure you get one of these in your hands. Okay. I don't know what condition it's gonna be in, but you're gonna get one of these in your hands. Okay. Deal. I'm gonna make sure you get one of these because everybody has to have one of these shitty books. Everybody has to have a Turok one in their collection.
But you got to remember all the stuff that I have in my collection right now. This is everything that I've acquired in the year that I've been in Colorado. So I don't
But
really
you still,
have a lot.
what happened to your old collection? Where is it still like in your possession?
It's still with Daryl. It's still back in Houston. It's just, it's like a couple things. One, I don't really have space to bring it here. Two, it's a matter of getting it here. Because it's like 10 long boxes and it's not light at all.
So what do? You just have it in a storage facility?
No, they're like technically I'm paying for like a room in Daryl's apartment to keep it safe.
Oh, I got you.
No,
Hopefully,
but there's been multiple like tries or plans to get it here, but it's just the fact that I'm still in a hotel. I just don't have space for it yet.
hopefully somebody's little hands doesn't get into your collection.
No, and Daryl's were cool. He'll send me like pictures and keep me updated and stuff like that. Like I was surprised, like he's even kept it for this long. But I mean, good friend.
So I think this was okay. This was an okay buy. I think the What If set that I bought that was a good purchase.
And the way I look at that one, that's $40 a slab, and one of them's a pedigree that's worth way more than a regular slab. Like,
Yeah, but you got to take into consideration the grade. If it was a 9.8, it'd be 100 plus book. I think.
Somebody would want it. Like the fact that it's a pedigree, even in that grade.
Well, I want it. That's why I got it.
Right. So there you go.
But I wasn't going to pay a lot for it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
If they were selling that for $100 by itself, I was going to pay for $100 for it. The fact that it was coming with the 9.8 regular version of it is what made me say, all right, maybe eventually I could sell the 9.8 version, get some of my money back on it, and I'll have the pedigree in my collection.
You'll definitely be able to sell it, and I'm pretty sure make the money back.
Yeah, I'm sure if I put it up like as a buy it now on eBay or something for like $50-$60 with make an offer, somebody's gonna give me an offer for $40-$50 on it.
Wait 4 more months. Wait for the Superman movie to start dropping a trailer, and it'll get hot.
Yeah, well, that's if the writers ever get off the strike.
What's up, Louis?
What do you think of that, Mike?
Yeah, it's scary. And people don't realize like how big that this affects everything, because it's not just movies and TV. I mean, it's affecting comics, it's affecting video games, and anything that has anything to do with writing. It's affecting them. And people, they're in that misconception. Well, some of these movies were already done or already ready to go. No, I mean, if you don't have a script on, if you don't have a script on set, a writer, that they won't film.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. How I feel about this. I think I'm probably in the minority. I think this is a good thing.
I do too. I mean, I'm in that belief that everybody needs to be making what equivalent to what they feel like they.
Oh, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think a lot of the writers are grossly overpaid for shitty and subpar work.
Well, see, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the ones that get paid like exuberant amounts because they're already so famous. No, I'm talking about like the low key new writers that we've had come in. And because those are the ones that, I mean, I haven't seen too many big writers posting anything about the strike. It's been the little guys. And
Well,
like,
here's the thing, Mike. Think of it like this: the industry has changed a lot over the past 10, 20 years. Okay, so especially since the last strike. You got a lot of these internet straight shows and movies that are being made, which a lot of these writers are working for. The companies are putting out these products, these movies and shows, are not making the same kind of money they were making before.
mm-mm.
They're not getting ad money. If you sell it to Netflix, guess what?
Yeah,
They're not
yeah,
making
yeah.
ad money on Netflix. They're getting subscription money on Netflix. Same thing goes for HBO Max and Hulu,
Amazon Prime.
and all that shit. So how are you expecting the companies that are putting in, producing and publishing these shows and to pay you top dollar for something they're not making money on?
Mm.
Think about it.
It gets hard because it's one of those things because they want the main thing that I heard was they want residuals from the streaming services that once it goes past that original season, that's what they're looking for. And
Well,
it's
think
like you
about it.
said,
It's fractions of the penny in a lot of cases for a lot of
yeah,
residuals, and I understand that because here's the thing: let's say Mike and Journey decide to make write a script, and it gets onto Netflix. Okay, people are not buying Netflix or subscribing to Netflix just for our freaking stupid show. It's part of the
mm,
package.
but that's where it gets iffy because sometimes I mean I don't know how many people I've heard say this. Oh, I hopped on Disney Plus because of this show, or I hopped on Amazon Prime because of this
Different
show.
animal altogether. Different
I mean,
animal
yeah,
altogether. I'm
yeah,
not.
when you do get Netflix or something and you hop on Netflix for a specific show, yes, you're hopping on there for a specific show, but you get like their whole catalog, right? But I think the biggest dilemma is something that we face for a long time. You have a lot of movies and shows that come out that don't become, box office hits right away.
Yep.
It's later on down the line they become like cult
A cult following.
classics or yeah. And I think that's what it's really because nowadays it's hard to judge what, I mean, you might have a show and I'll bring up like some shows that I believe flop, like Willow. Like Willow was horrible and but it's one of those things where like down the line, like maybe 10 years from now, it could develop like a huge fan following. And
It could, but you know what? It goes back to the same lines. Like how many times back in the days when we used to go to Blockbuster, we used to get these shitty, crazy ass cult films that we loved.
Yeah.
You think the writers got residuals on every time we rented it out? No.
Oh fuck no. Oh well,
Well,
that's the whole concept with us with comics, right? I love that whole like, oh, I'm supporting the comic book community, but I only buy old comics. Like, no, you're not. You're just rebuying from another seller, and none of the writer or artist doesn't get any of that money from you buying an old comic. They got money from back in the day, but no, then that's kind of that same concept. Now it's a little different because with streaming and movies, they're able to, back in the day with Blockbuster and Hollywood and stuff like that, the only way they could keep track of it is if they were like monitoring who was renting and blah blah blah. Nowadays, I mean, everything's monitored as far as like the people that are actually logged in with the streaming accounts and stuff.
well, think of it like this. What's it? I think it's $9.99 to get into Netflix.
Something
A month?
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 8 months.
What's
I
how
think
much?
they have like I think it's like they have tiers now because I think now everybody's doing a different thing where it's like they have a commercial plan and they have a non-commercial plan. And
I don't know what it is because I actually got it like as a promotion that came in for free with my phone service.
a lot of
So-
T-Mobile.
So I don't know what the monthly thing. I think it's $9.99, but whatever the case is, okay. So let's say $9.99. How many thousands of freaking films and shows are on freaking Netflix? A lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many fraction of a cent do you want as a writer for your show that's part of that collection of thousands and thousands of products out there to go to you? You get what I'm saying? Like
I do. And
they're like,
makes me
I got a check for 2 cents in the mail, and you hear writers talking about this. Well, how much do you want? Do you want more? Do you want more than Stallone would get for his video library, or do you want more than like another guy that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have guys like Stallone that wrote freaking Rocky.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's not making like a buttload of money
No,
on
that
the.
that's kind of a foreign concept. That didn't start happening until like the 2000s. That ridiculous, paid actor thing. I mean, it was starting to happen in the early 90s or late 90s, but that really didn't become a thing until the 2000s, where we were paying like millions of dollars to get an actor in a movie. I mean, I can remember in the late 90s, they were throwing fits that, Tom Cruise wanted $1.2 million to be in a movie. And that's, down the line, he's making like 63 million to be in a movie. I mean, but it's kind of like one of those things. How do you even justify that? What would be the right amount to give a
See,
minor?
that's not true. There's always been like superstar actors that made big boy money. Sean Connery made a shitload of money when he was doing the Bonds, and when he came back in the '80s for the shitty Bond movie that he did. Remember, like after like
Mhm.
they got rid of Roger Morris
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
just brought him back for that one. You know how much money he made, like record breaking money for that time
yeah.
on
But
the
that was like a
sequel.
one case scenario. I mean, you're talking about nowadays every movie that comes out. I mean, they're making big money with.
Stallone, Schwarzenegger were making big boy money with those Rockies and the freaking Predators and the '80s movies that they were putting out there. It was a different time. You know what I'm saying? It just came down to like who's the attraction. You know, if you're
Yeah,
attraction, you're gonna make money. Simple as that.
that's true. It's true. I
You
mean,
know,
it's the
even
same
from the
thing.
'60s, you had Bridget Bardot. She was making shitloads of money as a woman, which is like a big deal back in those days because she was like the hottest commodity. Farrah Fawcett, another one that made a lot of money off of the stuff that she did. You know what I'm saying? It's a different dynamic. But the writers, the quality of writing has gone down considerably because a lot of writers are writing just to get themselves uh, optioned. And if you're writing just to get yourself optioned, you're writing in a specific way where it becomes generic and boring.
It's hard to say. It's like one of those things. I agree with you. Like on some to some degree and levels that they're just like kind of it's kind of like one of those things because there are some mediocre stuff, especially movies nowadays. I mean, movies have become like, and I wouldn't classify TV show because I've actually seen some really good TV shows, but movies, on the other hand, I mean, you're talking about like my brother brought this up about like 2 months ago. How many like really great movies can you say actually came out? And I know people will be like, "Oh, Tom Cruise, Maverick," and no, I mean really
Cocaine there.
great. Movies that are gonna like stand the test of time, like some of these movies have. And honestly, it's like trying to think back the last year or the last couple of years, the best like really good movies. I mean, it's really like a handful in my hand. I mean, there's not that many that came out where I could be like, oh yeah, that movie was the shit. You gotta see it. I mean, that hasn't really happened. And honestly, it's like you think about it because there has been good directors and good writers attached to these movies, and we're getting like some par stuff. I don't know if it's just
It's
they're
watered
backing.
down. That's the problem. The same thing is happening in comics. You read probably more comics than myself and everybody that's in the chat combined. Okay. I know that for a fact. You see it. A lot of the stuff that's being written, especially the indie stuff that's being written in that first issue, is not being written because they want a long-lasting series. It's being written because they want to get attention and actually get a possibility of getting option for some other kind of media.
I think there's two things to that. I'll agree to that,
I'm
and
not saying all of it, but a lot
well,
of it.
especially indies, all agree to that. But I think it's also like the comic companies are playing it safe because if you notice, it's not just indies that are doing it. Marvel, DC, they're all doing these little like short, like 4 or 5 issue miniseries, and I think it's really like they're kind of afraid to pump out big series because most of the big series have been failing. When comic book fans talk about them, I mean,
Well,
um,
it's two different things. Well, I'll tell you something on the Marvel and DC end, as far as why they keep rebooting and they keep doing the number ones and the thing, because they've come up with a formula. They've come up with a formula. Every time they reboot and they do a number one, they get a boost of sales because it has a number one on it.
I agree. That's why Marvel's doing it. DC's not really.
And
doing
DC
it.
is saying,
Like, well, I mean, DC has been doing the number ones with the dawn of DC, but it's just for that initiative or whatever, and it's not a reboot. But like,
no, it's not. But anytime they throw that number one in there,
yeah,
that
I
it's a
know.
moneymaker
It's
for
a
them.
gimmick. Yeah, it's a good. I mean, that's
So
that's
very
the thing.
different from what the indies are doing. But the indies, especially some of the image stuff that you're seeing, some of the Scout stuff that you're seeing. I like Scout, by the way. And boom, you're seeing all of them. They're making them catered specifically, not for a long lasting reading experience in comics, for a potential upping on something else, either show or TV. It's like almost a resume. Think of it like that. Yeah, and I'm trying my best because I told you I'm writing right now my own book, and I'm doing my very best to not let that part of the business affect me, because I want it to be a great story. And if something happens out of it, it happens out of it. But I don't want that to be the focus, because I think that's what waters down. Think about the best franchises, the best movies that came out that were long lasting. They came with sequels and stuff like that. Where did they come from? They didn't come from scripts. They didn't come from comics. They came from novels. They came from really good novels. The Harry Potter shit that everybody goes bonkers on, they didn't come from like just a generic script. It didn't come from a comic book. It came from a full-blown novel. And there's a story, there's a mythos, there's a whole environment that people are embracing and loving. Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, you go down the line. These are epic stories that people are loving, and they want to see more cultivated. It's a weird dynamic. I'm actually very, very for the strike, not because I want the writers to get their thing. I want everybody to get a rude awakening. I want a rude awakening on all ends. I want the writers to realize you're not as significant as you think you are. Not all the writers. I'm talking about all the like padded writers. You don't need an army of 20 writers to do one show. You could have 2-3 writers and not water down the whole freaking product by having a whole team of them sit there and evaluate it. And that's what's been happening with a lot of shows.
I don't even think it's that. And I think it's because I agree with Trev that I mean there's a lot of good writing in comics. It's just it depends on what you're picking up. And I watch, I mean, of course we all watch a lot of other comic book people and stuff like that. And like I'm not in the minority where like I like the spec talk. I like the FOMO stuff. I like all that. And that's not that I follow it. I like looking at it, stuff like that, to see where my comics are at and stuff like that. I don't care. Like, I mean, I don't plan to sell any of my books. To me, that's a piece of my soul, and you're not getting it. But, I mean, when you're talking about movies and TV, it's not even like writers
Morning,
or
Pokin.
directors. There's so many people that are attached to like one project, and they all got this little say. It's
What's going on,
like
Ben?
that's my problem. It's like when you take every novel, like you brought up Harry Potter. I read all those books. When they dropped, I was like one of the first people in Houston to read the last book and do a review before anybody else did. I was on the news for it. But like, no, you're talking about you have a story, and it's like it goes to Hollywood. It's never the same. It's always changed for this and
Of
that.
course. I mean, Stephen King is the perfect example of that,
He got to the point where he stopped messing with Hollywood because they kept messing up his projects and stuff, and it was like it would be to the point where he would start out with full creative rights, and in a week he would already have lost like 75% of his rights.
Well, he's a special animal, Stephen King, because he got a little nuts with certain things. Remember, he made a Maximum Overdrive. He directed it. It sucked. It sucked.
It's a good movie, but it is a bad movie too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I could do it better. You can't. You can't.
He tried though, but he tried.
Stick to the writing. Stick to the writing. I'll give him A for effort and trying, but it's just like I don't know. Like not everybody could like McFarlane. the reason that we haven't had another Spawn is because he's been a hard ass on wanting to direct it himself.
Not just that, there are that's the big thing, but there is another big thing. It's because like every writer he brings in to adjust the script on the set has that big problem. Like they want to turn it into like something completely different. Have y'all heard what the first talk of his rebooted Spawn movie was going to be? Spawn was going to be in the background as a villain, and it was all going to be about Sam and Twitch. It was going to be like this like hard detective type story, and I was like, "The fuck is that?" I like Sam and Twitch, but that's not the Spawn.
So
movie
call
I
it
want.
Sam and Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
No
why
problem.
would you have like? And I get the whole premise, like it was going to be told through Sam and Twitch's, but that's not the story that everybody fell in love. That's my concept with adapting anything from a novel, a comic, a game, anything like that. It could be a coloring book, and they want to put it on TV or movies and stuff, and they always have like this where they
Going on,
it's
Remy?
like they can't um it's like there's this concept. Well, it was famous as a book, but we have to change it in Hollywood form, or the fans won't like it because it's the same thing, and they've already seen that. Well, dumbass, there's only like so many readers, or so many gamers, or so many comic fans, and guess what? You're not just appealing to them; you're appealing to the wide world. So not everybody has read that, or played that, or seen that. Make it the same fucking thing. That's what we fell in love with. Why would you change this shit? That's my biggest problem with Hollywood. Is I mean, bring up
It's
any comic
impossible.
book movie. Bring
Yeah,
up
but here's the
any.
thing, Mike. It's impossible to make it the same exact thing.
No, it's
In a
not.
two,
It's
yes, it is.
really
Yeah,
no
yes, it
because
is.
that
Unless,
was a thing back in the '90s and 2000s, and I get it, like technology. And no, now when you got TV
no, that's
shows,
not it. It's time restrictions.
yeah, that's my point. Now that you got TV shows, and we're able to pump out like seasons of stuff. That's why they're about to do the Harry Potter as a show versus a movie, because that concept doesn't work. A book, a novel takes a regular person, like a regular sized novel, about 20 hours to read. How do you take a 20-hour book and try to fit it into a 2-hour movie? I mean, that's just a dumbass move from the beginning. They're like, oh, well, we got to cut out you got to cut out like 19 hours worth of shit to fit it into a movie. No, that's why, in my opinion, like TV shows are the better option if you're going to adapt like a novel or a long fitted story. Movies should be made to be a movie. They're trying to adapt, comics and no. What happened to like a writer that actually wrote a script for a movie? That was the '90s. That was, I mean, I can't remember the last time I've heard. Maybe James Cameron with Avatar. That that's about the only time I've actually heard like an actual writer that wrote a script specifically for a movie that didn't come from a novel or didn't come from a comic, right? And I'm all for adaptations. I want a ton of them. But like again, like you're trying to take something and fit it into something else. It's never gonna work.
Well, the horror genre does a lot of straight to movie scripts that are out there. They're not based on comics or any other kind of things.
I think that's because that's the easiest genre to write for. I'm not dissing horror at all, but think about it. What do you need for a horror story? You need a killer, some
Well,
victims.
if it's done right, it could actually be great. I mean,
I
you
love
take
horror.
you take something like Hostel or something like Saw.
That's
Or
why I
something
think some of the best horror movies, they always have like, they're always the most absurd ideas. Like Saw, it was a brand new thing, being stuck in a trap. Insidious, The Ring, they were all like brand new things. It's those horror movies when they're like, oh, Friday the 13th did good. Let's recreate a whole other slasher and just put another guy in a suit. Those are the ones that aren't always so good. We talking about cult classics. Those are my favorite horror movies. Are some of the cult classics that never did any good. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, that was incredible. Blob.
I mean, yeah. I mean, those movies back in the day when we were growing up, like they weren't talked about. No one knew about them. Only like a few select people will watch those movies.
They weren't talked about in the mainstream, but you know what? When I would get together with my friends around the corner at in the neighborhood down the block, we'd be like, "Hey, guess what I saw on my pirated box from Cablevision? Late with all the grain, I saw this freaking weird ass Killer Clowns from outer space. Did you guys see that? Yeah, I saw that. It's freaking nuts. You know?
That's how I saw. That's how I saw Killer Clowns. I was like 8 or 9. I think I went over to a friend's sleepover, like, and we weren't supposed to watch that shit. And somebody was like, "Man, I got this copy of this movie. We gotta watch it." And it scared the shit out of us. But man, it was good.
You know, there was another channel back in the days like HBO was, but it's gotten long forgotten. It's called WHT. I don't know if you remember it.
Mm.
It was like a competitor for HBO. People forgot about completely, but it had the fucking shittiest freaking cult classic movies on there. Piranha. That's where I saw Piranha, and all kinds of crazy. My dad had gotten a box and put it in the place, and I think it cost him like $100 back then. And it was like sometimes you got it, sometimes you didn't, sometimes it was like snowy, sometimes it was like, oh shit, it was the best thing.
I can remember a bunch of those movies, like, you know, and like a bunch. I mean, we didn't, you know, back then it wasn't like we had streaming services. It was all either VHS or we saw it in a movie theater, a dollar theater, something like that. I remember a lot of those like funny movies I saw, like dollar movies and stuff. But some of them my favorite. You ever seen Leviathan? Leviathan was great, but man, he's like,
oh yeah. I mean, I didn't really get to go to the movies much as a kid. It was like a very rare occasion. Up until I was like 12, 13 years old, I didn't regularly go to up until I was able to go on my own to the movies. I didn't really get to see the movies much. So for me, it was a special thing. My first movie ever that I went. What are you doing, Cole? Yeah, there you go. I call it the first movie I ever saw as a kid, and I always hold this dear, was Return of the Jedi. And my uncle and my cousin had taken me to go see it. I was 7 years old. I'm 19. I think it came out in 1984. Yeah. So I was 7 years old, and that's the reason why I love Star Wars. I don't think it was because and that's why Return of the Jedi is actually my favorite movie, just from a nostalgia point of view. It just pulls at I like the Ewoks. I like the whole, you know, all that stuff. I don't know. I love that stuff. So I know it's not the best made movie, and it's not the most well written. It's not but it's my favorite. It's definitely my favorite. So.
You know, that's always that dilemma: is Empire versus Return.
What the hell's Blippi? What the hell's he watching? What's a Blippi?
I don't know what Blippi is.
The fuck is a Blippi?
A kid's cartoon. Maybe?
I don't know. No.
First movie. My first movie was, and Batman was a funny story for me because if you remember that time, that's when NWA did the whole cop killer, the cop killer song. My family had banned Warner Brothers because of that whole NWA thing. So the year that Batman '89 came out, I wasn't allowed to see it. I had to sneak out and go see it.
Why should I know what a Blippi is? What the fuck is a Blippi? Explain to me. Explain to me what a Blippi is.
Yeah, I don't know what Blippi is.
Blippi.
Without cheating.
His son is an Ewok.
Blippi is Lucy, the Luke Skywalker of YouTube. Is that the guy that does like he unboxes like kids' toys or whatever? I think that might have been it.
Thank you, chat. Apparently, we're not the only people that don't know what a Blippi is. Thank you.
Right.
Holy shit, Cole.
My first movie was actually a Disney movie. My first movie was I'm trying to think. It was Dumbo. I saw it was like the re-release of Dumbo, and I think I was like 3 or 4, and my mom had took us. And I want to say like after that we saw like Robin Hood, and I remember seeing Lady and the Tramp. DuckTales the movie was a big one, but the first movie that I ever got to go see like by myself without my parents, and I was 8, was Ninja Turtles the movie. That was like a big nostalgia thing because that was like the first time I was allowed to go to the theater with no supervision or whatever. I remember my grandmother like stocked us up like soda and snacks, and she had it all like tucked in our clothes and stuff. I was like, hell yeah. Grandmother was cheating the system.
I saw the Return of the Jedi, and then I had like big gaps between like that. Dark Crystal was another one that I saw in the movies. Twins was another one I saw. I could
My
actually literally tell you exactly which movies I saw in the 80s. I saw Twins. I saw Return of the Jedi. I saw Dark Crystal, and here's where I actually my movie experiences as a kid started to amplify. I started going more regularly. When I graduated from elementary school in sixth grade, one of the moms decided to take a couple of us to the movies. And guess what was at the movies that day?
Who?
It was Batman, Ghostbusters 2, and Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade.
Hmm.
And guess what happened? This was a cool mom. She bought us tickets to go into the Batman, and we literally jumped from one movie to the other. Saw every single one of those movies. We got to see 3 freaking movies for It was a whole like big deal. We were there for like 8 hours. It was crazy.
I can remember a bunch of movies because I'm the opposite where my family was kind of a big like movie family. So like I wouldn't say we got to go to the movies a lot, but I did as a kid. And a lot of times it was like dollar movies, but like some of the movies that I can once the big milestones, I guess you can say. The first rated R movie I ever got to go to in a theater was Demolition Man, and my grandfather took me, and I think I was like 11 or 12 whenever that movie came out. Like Ninja Turtles, the first movie I got to go to without my parents. I remember the first time that like I could hear the movie outside the theater. It was so pumped, and I saw this movie 3 times in the theater, and every theater was like this. But you could actually hear the theme song outside the movie. It was so loud, but it was Mortal Kombat. You could hear that do 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 like as you were waiting in line. I was like, yes. Um, I'd say that like I did see Return of the Jedi in the theater, and that's the only one I got to see because I was around like 4 or 5. So no, I was around 3 or 4 when I saw it. But I actually got to see quite a bit of horror movies. I think the first horror movie I got to see was like Friday the Third. No, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. I snuck into a theater and saw that. I snuck into a theater and saw like Free Jack City with Jagger. You remember that?
Yeah,
Um, no, but I actually got to see like
not needed Free Jack. Free Jack.
yeah, free. Was
Yeah,
it
with
Free Jack?
Mick
Maybe it was Free
Jagger.
Jack.
Free
Yeah,
Jack.
it was a Jagger.
Yeah.
Um, Nah, man, movies are. I mean, I like for me, there's a lot of nostalgia with movies and theaters and stuff like that. Especially back in the day. And I still go to theaters nowadays, but I mean, I haven't. I'd say the last like coolest experience I had in the theater was probably episode 1, and I'd say the reason why is because everybody was like in cosplay. I remember in the beginning of the theater, like before they started the showing, they were doing like lightsaber battles, like at the bottom of it in front of the screen and stuff. I was like, man, this is epic.
See, I didn't get to. I cherished the movies a lot more, and when I got older and I was able to go by as a kid, like by myself to the movies. Like if I could, and if I could find somebody to come with me, I'd go every week, and I did do that a lot. I even went a couple times by myself because I like really like my parents didn't give a fuck about the movies. Like they're like immigrants and shit like that. Like, dude, why are you gonna waste your time? Watch it on TV for free. And it was about work with them and stuff like that. Different generation, different culture, different the whole thing. So for them, it wasn't really appreciated as much. But for me, it was a thing that I loved. You know what I'm saying? Like I really like I guess because I didn't have it as a kid, I wanted it more. So I went I went overboard once I got like the free reigns to be able to go and do that stuff. So
Yeah,
in the 90s, I saw like every single piece of shit movie that could possibly come out in the movie theaters. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what it was. I would go and see almost anything. Like my favorite, probably my favorite movie experience in the 90s was, believe it or not, out of all the films you could possibly go and see that I had the most fun at, Ash versus the Evil Dead. I had the most fun
that
watching.
was a great movie. Yeah, I saw it in the theater too. I think I was kind of like you. I think when I hit like my teenager years, and like I had the freedom and I actually had the money to do what I wanted to do. I mean, I'm a huge movie lover, but that's what I did in college. A lot of people don't know this, but like I've reviewed stuff in college. I was a movie reviewer and a TV show reviewer, and I worked on the paper, and I did that for 3 years. But like, no, in the '90s, like before I hit college, man, I've seen like, I mean, I was watching The Independent. I was watching like, I used to go to this one theater in Houston that they didn't even play mainstream movies. All they played was like indie movies or like weird documentaries and stuff like that. I'd go see stuff like one of my favorite movies, and it's a movie that no one's ever heard of. I've never heard anybody ever mention it, and kind of for good reason too. But one of my favorite movies of all time is called Lily Pads, and it's not so easy to look up because
What's it called?
It's got different names, but it's
Wait,
called Lily Pads.
Louis Man?
No, Lily Pads, like
Lily Pads.
and but that's if you search it, that's not the name you're gonna find it on. It's so weird, but it has different names, and it's because it's a French film. But the premise of the movie is just about two guys that are locked up in prison, and they're telling the story about an older friend that they used to have that died. And really, what it kind of turns into, it's a murder mystery story, and one of the friends end up killing the other friend. And as you go through the story, you kind of find out which of the two friends killed, their other friend. But the coolest thing of this movie is they did it like old Elizabethan times, where the whole movie is played by nothing but men. They do have women characters in the movie, but they're played by men. But the whole movie is done like that, and there are some scenes where they have like like they kind of show you real women, but it's still just men dressed up. But like as far as like engaging and the story and everything, that's the best like movie I've ever seen in my life, and I've never heard anybody else talk about it.
All right. I'm gonna pause for a second. What the fuck is a Winioli?
Oh, Weenie Only, that came from that's a joke from Matt. Remind me, where did that come from?
Wait, is that the thing that he was talking about that in his freaking show? I was watching Cole's thing the other day, and he's talking about some freaking hot dog with a potato. I don't know what the fuck it had.
That's what it was. It was. That's what it was. It was. Damn, I'm trying to remember if Cole didn't do something, or if he did do something, he would like
some fucked up abomination to Earth as far as eating. I don't know what the hell it was that he wanted to eat.
It's a hot dog covered in like ravioli.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it is. Who the fuck is gonna eat a ravioli hot dog? Why?
I mean,
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know if it's any good, but I'd try it.
I would not eat that. I mean, maybe if you pay me like a exorbitant amount to go eat it, maybe I'll do that. But I'm not gonna eat that shit just because I feel like it.
It's like a $5 double dare. Come on,
$5. Get out of here.
It's not too far off.
I'm gonna get myself freaking nauseous for freaking $5. Not a chance.
Wait, what was it? What did you say? We need a Mortal Kombat style game using child show host as the combatants. Blimpy fighting Gabba Gabba and her cat, Mr. Hopper versus DJ. I think they already have that game.
Yeah, it's called the YouTube Rating Wars.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Movies and me, man. I mean, you're talking about what we went through, like, and of course, people that are older than me, but growing up in the '80s, we went from, Betamax, we went to VHS to, and it was like, I can remember, like, going to Blockbuster in Hollywood. I remember when Hollywood Video first opened up, and they were trying to compete with Blockbuster. I mean, who remembers Blockbuster Music? It wasn't just Blockbuster. They had multiple stores. I can remember buying a whole bunch of vinyl and stuff from Blockbuster Music. That was like eBay, not eBay, but EB Games. Was like in every mall, like KB Toy.
Listen, I don't want your Winioli memes, okay? I don't want your Winioli memes, Cole. Do you understand that? First of all, you shaved off your mustache. You're not fluffy anymore. Your cuteness factor has gone down a lot. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're half the man without your mustache. You need your mustache to come back.
He needs
You
a
know?
new stick, and he don't have a mustache.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with him was his fluffy mustache and his creepy voice.
I
You
like
know,
his mustache.
like what, what the hell? Bring back the mustache. Hashtag mustache love. I don't know. Like, do something. You know, he sends me memes. He sends me this. He sends me that.
All right, we talked about nostalgic and stuff. Like, name a movie that was so bad it made you walk out of the movie, but in the theater. At home, it's a
Uh,
different story. People give up on movies all the time. But once you're paying for that ticket money, there's not too many people that will walk out on that. But I can name a couple movies. I was like,
there's one that I walked out, but I don't know if this counts because we walked out and walked into another theater and saw another movie. Does that
yeah,
count?
that counts. Yeah, that counts.
So I had gone with a girlfriend of mine at the time, and we went and saw Kung Pao. Remember Kung Pao?
You walked out of Kung Pao?
It was pretty
You
fucking
think
bad.
that movie would be like made for you? Maybe it
Yeah,
was
you know
before
what?
you.
That's the movie I would watch at home with a
Yeah,
bunch of
but on a
friends.
date. Yeah.
My girlfriend, she was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm like, "You know what? You're kind of right. What the fuck is this?" like, it's a movie.
It's funny with Kung Pao. I don't even think I ever saw it like mentioned in theaters. I don't think I saw it until it hit VHS, and that's when like
And I was like, I was young. I was in my teens back then, I think, or like early 20s. I'm like, I want to get fucking laid right now. I'm not gonna fucking make her watch this thing and, like, just like, you know, force her. And
mine.
I don't really like it that much either. Like like I got past the baby scene, which was pretty funny in the beginning, and then it just started getting bad and
It got
worse.
weird. It got really weird
Yeah,
after that point.
yeah. I've watched it since then, at home. And if you have some in your system and like you're watching it, all right, you have a couple of drinks in there, okay, you hang out with friends, you could have fun with it, but not a good movie for the movies. But we did go and see something else. I forgot what it was. Something good we went and saw. It was a horror movie, I think. I
Mine
forgot
was
what.
the first movie I ever walked on. It was a similar story. It was a date. I took this girl to like, and she was a big Chris Farley fan. But we went to go see Beverly Hills Ninja, and
Oh,
like,
that's
man, you
tough.
talk. It's funny. I love that movie. It's not one of his better ones, but I still love it because it's another. I love Chris Farley. And I
Was
do.
that with the Chihuahua?
No, that was the one where it was with Chris Rock, and he played like this. He was supposed to be like a ninja from Japan or something like that. He came to Hollywood, and he's like supposed to be it was just like a ninja stuck out of place or something like that. But he was like a horrible ninja because he was a big fat guy.
Joe, I think that's the scene that we walked out where he's like punching the udders for the cow.
Yeah.
I think that's where we like. She's like, I have enough. I had enough of this. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get laid. I'll walk out.
2002.
What's that?
Cold Stick Kung Pao came out in 2002. You sure? I thought it was.
It's
before that.
possible. No, is it? Maybe I was older
Hey,
then.
Star Wars movie Unbreakable. I love Unbreakable.
Maybe I was older then. Maybe I was in my 20s at that point. Doesn't change the fact that I want to get laid, But I do remember.
Walked out on Unbreakable. Like what?
Unbreakable. Unbreakable was freaking good.
Yeah, you're talking about like, especially for a comic book person, that was like, I mean, you're talking about like after watching that movie, that was like, it wasn't talked about in the beginning of the movie because it was like it was like advertised as this action like disaster movie or whatever. No, but when you watch that movie, it was basically like the origin of a comic book hero and the origin of a comic book supervillain. I thought that was
Those
dope.
those for like first like 3-4 M. Night movies were freaking awesome.
I love that. Even I mean, he does have some bad ones, but I've loved all of M. Night Shyamalan's movies.
I haven't watched the more recent ones, but I liked Unbreakable a lot. I love Sixth Sense a lot. I loved. I actually like Signs as well. I didn't think it was that bad with Mel Gibson.
I like Signs. The Signs was one of those that I like. You know, there's a bunch that people didn't like Lady in the Water. I love that story because
It was kind of weird and freaky. That's why I liked it.
like a fantasy, like kind of like a new age like fantasy tale. Um, no, I mean, some of the ones I didn't like were the ones that most everybody didn't, but he's come out with some good ones lately, and I think some people were torn about this one, but Old, I really enjoyed Old. I thought it was really good, and then he did one called I think The Devil, and it was about that old lady in the elevator. I think I just spoiled it, but no, he's done a couple good ones recently, but he has had some stinkers too. There was one called like
Glass.
No, see, Glass was okay. I was kind of mad at the ending. I wanted that to continue. I like, because for me, his two best is Unbreakable and Split. Like Split, I think I've watched like 4 or 5 times. I love that movie.
Split was kind of wild.
James Madden was, that is phenomenal.
I thought Split was kind of wild. Glass, I was a little disappointed with, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a little better than what it was.
And Trev, and I can agree with The Last Airbender, but when I saw it, I hadn't watched the cartoon. So I actually liked the movie and didn't see the complaint. But after watching the anime and stuff, and I do love the anime, it is like, I mean, I can see why fans are mad and stuff. But if you
The M. Night do Last Airbender?
Yeah, if you had no knowledge on Avatar, I really enjoyed that movie. And honestly, I was kind of upset that they weren't going to continue it. Like, but I have seen the anime. And I've watched Legend of Korra. You talk about a good anime to watch was The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra.
I've seen a very little of the animation. Whatever I would watch with my son. My son was into that shit when he was younger. Like
That's why
anything Dragon Ball or Airbender or any of that kind of anime stuff. Like anything that has to do with yelling a lot and like any of that stuff. My kid was into. So like I watched it. I don't really understand it that much, but I watched it.
I mean, I was late to the Avatar game because of the style of animation, and then it's on Nickelodeon. It was on Nickelodeon. So, like when it came out, my kind of idealing was I thought it was like I was too old for it, or it was monitored. It looked like it was set up for little kids or something, but after watching it, it is not. I mean, it's just they just use that anime style. But like honestly, me, I watch it. Since '92, since like, and even before then, because I was already watching like Speed Racer and Macross and stuff like that. But I've always been a huge anime fan. In '92, that was one of the big moments that I got in trouble for is because I went to a Dungeons and Dragons con with my dad. My family is a huge board game family that have been playing Dungeons and Dragons since it started. But we went to a con, and it was one of the first cons my dad took me to, and he gave me free roam because I was 12. And that first night, like I did play D&D for a little bit, and then I had a break. And I went roaming around this convention, and it was set up in a Holiday Inn, but the whole hotel was set up as a con. Even smaller rooms had like games going on in the smaller rooms. And I managed to walk past this one room, and it said like 18 and older, don't enter. But they had the door open when I walked by, and when I walked by, they were airing different anime movies. Man, you talk about it. I got stuck in that room for 2 days. I did nothing but watch anime. And I got in so much trouble because I disappeared. My dad had been looking for me. The hotel staff had been looking for me. I literally, like, in some of those animes that I watched that day, or to this day, are some of my favorite. I saw Street Fighter 2, the anime, that day. I saw Vampire Hunter D that day.
Those are really good.
Man, I saw some of the band. It wasn't all movies too. They had some shows mixed in there too, because I saw Blue Seed. I saw I don't know, but no, but you're talking about that, like, sparked my whole love of anime. Was that day watching like all those movies and stuff. But I still watch like animated shows and stuff like that today. I'm watching one right now that nobody has heard about, which is amazing because the animator who's doing it is so famous. But I'm watching Unicorn Warriors Eternal on Cartoon Network, and for some reason, no one has heard of that.
Yeah, that's the kind of title that would get me not to watch it.
It's man, you talk about like one of the weirdest.
I get it, but that's just not something I would
watch just because of that title. Now, if somebody recommends it, maybe I'll make the effort. But if I see something about unicorns,
you want to know why you should want to watch it? It's because of who's animating it. It's done by the same guy who did it's Gendy Tarkovsky, I think his name is. I always have a hard problem pronouncing his last name. But he's the guy behind Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack.
see, I don't like that kind of animation though. That's the thing.
And I can get that. I can see that because that's like his new show. If you look up Unicorns Warrior Eternal, it does have like a weird kind of animated aesthetic to it. Like one of the main characters, she kind of looks like Betty Boop.
I could appreciate the stylization of it. It's just not for me, that kind of animation. Like I don't like I like a little more detailed animation. I like a little bit more like I'm a big like I once at one point I went into a really deep dive into like old school anime. A man like like really like old school obscure shit. Like it started off with like the typical stuff like the Akira and the Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that, and I started going deeper and deeper and finding some crazy shit. I like that stuff because I'm from the school that likes 2D animation. I like 2D animation very much. I actually don't like the newer renderings. I don't like the 3D. I can appreciate it. I think it's amazing what they do with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Mario type of animation that came out recently with the like it's beautiful. They did a great job with it. I just
fall back to
I prefer to watch the 2D animation, like the cell art animation, that kind of stuff. That is super fun for me to watch.
For me, I don't have that dilemma. I will say with anime, I get picky. I do not like the computer animated looking anime. And Trev, I know you know what I'm talking about, but like I do like my anime to be drawn. I don't mind them having Berserk is good. Berserk is so good.
Been wanting to watch that.
Oh, it's so bloody. I love the story behind it too. It's so good. But Overfiend is good too.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But there are some like lately it's become this thing where like I'd say with Gundam they've done it quite a bit where they've mixed in like computer animation with cell animation. And I'm not a big fan of the computer animated anime shows. Like I've watched some, but you lose like I mean just the spectacular of the art that's been drawn by the animators and stuff like that. Like that's why I can appreciate like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that because I mean a lot of people they say that and they only the show is not called Dragon Ball Z, it's called Dragon Ball, and it's I mean because there's multiple series that make up the whole story. You got Dragon Ball, you got Dragon Ball Z, you got GT, which technically isn't there, and then you got Super. But like no, you talk about even though how long running that is, they've never resulted to that computer animated style of animating. They've stuck with the cell. Now they have added like they have used computer technology to like make it faster, but
I could appreciate it. I could watch it. It just doesn't hook me. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dragon Ball stuff doesn't hook me. Like where I'm like I gotta see the whole collection. I feel complete.
On stories like that, the way I can suggest if you like, because you might not be drawn into it, and how you get drawn into it is you find like somebody that's really passionate about it, but they can tell you why they're passionate about it. Hey, what's up, Shop?
Cinderella 3.
Cinderella 3.
What the fuck would I watch Cinderella 3? I didn't know there was a 2. I thought Cinderella 1 was enough.
That's when everybody's any Disney movie, the real version is a horror story. I mean,
yeah, but
like,
wasn't it complete the story in Cinderella 1?
Technically, no. The real story is there's always an evil person. It's just in the real story, it's about the stepmother, and the real story it's bloody. She actually cuts off one of her daughter's heels to like get it to fit in the shoe, and she literally like cuts off like that part of the heel. Like the other stepsister, she cuts off her front toes. Like, hey, Robert. No, but like all Disney films, especially the original, like their collection, like Dumbo, Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, they're all fucked up stories.
Yeah, they all come from horror stories. So if you look at the original stories like Snow White, and there are that they have made some real versions of those stories like Sleeping
But
Beauty.
I'm saying for the Disney version, isn't it kind of complete that first movie, beginning to
They
end?
did it.
Ends.
I know they did a Cinderella 1 and 2, and they've done that with all their movies. But
But
like that's when I
when
mean
you
you're talking
end,
about complete. Like that's like Aladdin. I think there's like three Aladdins, right? There's like three different the big
again, it makes no sense why they do that. I can understand them doing like a TV series or something like that or whatever if they want to. But
some of
here's
those
the
they
thing:
had.
as a
Some of them.
movie, when the movie ends and they lived happily ever after, it kind of puts a bow tie at the end of it, and you're done. Leave it
I mean,
alone.
but that okay, like, and we grew up in that time where sequels were shunned on, right? I've always been against that. I've always had the premise like if a story was good enough and if you had good enough writers and fans like appreciated the whatever project could be movie, TV show, whatever. I was always in. I'm still in that mindset that if you have a good enough writer, a good enough story to, you can continue the story. That's why I love Star Wars so much because even if you look at the first Star Wars movie, every character that you see, whether it's a main character, a side
Okay.
character, they all have a story. There's a reason they were doing that, or and that's what made me fall in love with it. There was so much background lore that was tied into the main story, and that was the potential. You could do a story off of everybody. I mean that's fine. That's my opinion. It's like when you have a failed sequel, when you have a fail, it's because of the writer. It's because they took some cheap cash grab thing or they try to go too gimmicky. No, if you have a writer that's passionate about a story, you can continue that story forever.
I get that. Some stories though, I feel like
Well,
the
some stories are made to be, finite. They have a
yeah,
beginning and an end.
all those original Disney movies were meant to be a fairy tale. A like you put the bow at the end of it. There you go. You know, you're done after that.
Some. I
No,
disagree about
all
like
those
the Jungle
original
Book.
ones, all those original ones were meant to be like that. You go down
Yeah, yeah.
Cinderella, you go down Sleeping Beauty, you
Oh,
go
they never
down.
had. I mean, you're talking about they never had planned sequels. There was never a
No,
moment where Disney was like,
the
"Yep,
the the, the
Dumbo was a hit. Dumbo Two's gonna be the shit." No, there was no the sequel thing that came
they were
way
made
later on.
for the purpose of saying, okay, this is it. You know, Fantasia. There was no reason for there to be a Fantasia 2.
Well, that was because the re-release was so big. You're talking about Fantasia wasn't a hit for 40 years. It didn't really get popular until like the early 90s or whatever when they did that re-release. I mean, I grew up with Fantasia in my house, but at that time, you're talking about how old it was when it was popular in my house, like in the 90s or 80s or whenever it was. But I mean, like, I'd say Disney was smart for that because it's kind of like how we do with shorts, right? You drop a short, doesn't do too good, you take it back down and try re-uploading it later. That's kind of what they did with Fantasia, and and I mean, if you've seen Fantasia, it's just a weird movie to see in the theater
That's
because
kind of what I like about it. The fact that it's so
I
freaking
love
weird. It's like a
it.
weird acid trip. That's what it
Yeah, it
is.
is. Actually, that's kind of how it was like, because I kind of grew up with it in my house, but I really didn't appreciate it until I like honestly started doing drugs. It was like, oh, let's watch Fantasia. That was like Wizard of Oz. You ever seen the dark side of the Wizard of Oz, like where you mix Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon, and watch
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz? Man, I've seen that like three, four times.
Wizard of Oz is a freaking crazy. You know what? You ever see Return to Oz?
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite movies that
That
a
is a
lot of people have
fucked
not
up
seen.
movie.
It was
That is
scary.
such a fucked up movie. Like people don't
When
realize
I
how
saw
Southern Comic
when I
Creek.
saw it as a kid, it scared the shit out of me. Then not just one part, there was multiple parts. The Wheelers, do you remember the Wheelers? That part where she was like walking
Yeah.
on the broken yellow brick road, and she came across. It was like she came across this like it was in a little city that was all made of rubble, and then you find out later on that's where the Munchkins were. And the reason the Munchkins weren't there anymore is because the Wheelers that came in and killed them all. And the Wheelers, all they were just these like elongated, like they they were on all fours. They looked like people, kind of, but like they had like wheels for hands, but they were blades. They were actually like sharp. Like man, and you talk about like the ending, the Pumpkin King, and how they actually killed him.
Yeah. Return to Oz was a fucking bizarre, dark movie. People don't realize, and they made this for kids. I don't understand how they
Yeah.
made this for kids. It was
It
a
was a
dark.
movie that it was a movie that my parents took me to see in the theater. It was a movie that they bought for us on VHS, and we watched a bunch. We were talking about like how scary that movie was for a kid, like, and that's why I watched it.
I appreciate it so much more now than when I was a kid.
Man, like, and there was a couple.
Even when I was a
like,
kid, I liked it, but I thought it was nuts. You know,
that was like Black Cauldron, and no one remembers that Disney movie. But Black Cauldron was an animated movie they did in
Mhm.
like the late '80s or early '90s, and it was actually the very first Disney ever animated PG-13. And why did it have the PG-13? Because they had a sex scene. There was an animated sex scene in the
Yep.
movie. They actually had to re-edit that movie 4 times to take stuff out, and finally now I think it's at a PG rating. But still, they had to take out the sex scene. There's another scene where like the bad guy kills a bunch of guys. They had to take out that scene.
see, I
Disney
like
was trying some stuff.
my when I was a kid, my god sister was one of these freaking crazy Disney people that every time they released one of those special videotapes, so remember in those like big hard plastic cases that opened up and like it was like a special looking case. She
Mhm.
bought every fucking one, and every time I would go over the house, we'd watch a Disney movie. So I got to see every single Disney movie you could possibly think of back in those days.
I grew up in a huge Disney household. I wouldn't say we had like a long. I mean, because if you remember, there wasn't much you were going to the parks. But Disney wasn't like something you just go to Walmart and buy like merchandise. You might have been able to have like I don't know, a T-shirt or something like that, but it wasn't as big as it is nowadays, where you can go in any store and find Disney something. But like, no, we grew up in a Disney household, watching like pretty much every Disney movie that dropped. I mean, I'm not talking about just the animated stuff. I mean, I grew up with Swiss Family Robinson. I grew up
Mhm.
watching Old Yeller. I grew up watching Old Yeller was a staple in my household, and like to this day, like my aunt will not watch it because the ending with Old Yeller. But like a bunch of those movies, and some we'll probably never see make the screen again. Like what's that one movie? Southland Tales, or what's the name of that movie? I don't
Yeah,
know.
Shop. Those Disney, some of those Disney VHS are worth a lot of money now,
Yeah,
especially the ones
but
that they'll pre-edit. Like before,
I
like
used
wait, if you
I
have like
used
a dark cauldron with the sex scene in it, it's probably
yeah.
worth a lot more money than the one that's been edited.
That's one of the only movies I actually have in VHS that's sealed is the Black Cauldron, but I think it's the third release. Like and another one I have is Dark Crystal. I love Dark Crystal. Um, no, but like growing up, and I mean there was some weird. I mean, you're talking about Puff the Magic Dragon or Pete and his dragon. Pete and his dragon.
Yeah.
You're talking about they had so many like weird Disney movies back then, especially in the '80s and '90s. They were trying like just all kind of avenues.
Well, that's when the straight to VHS started to like become like a thing where they started to make stuff that never went to the theaters and they would like try to throw things against the wall, see if they stick. So there was some kind of crazy. Listen, I will give them a lot of credit for some of the stuff that they did. At least they had the balls to try things out back then. Like Return to Oz, they had a lot of balls to make a movie like that, and it worked. At least
Yeah.
for me, it might not have been a
Yeah.
blockbuster in the theaters, but it was a freaking. You know what? It was a gamble. I wish they did more of that
It's
now.
well, it's one of those movies that like if you actually look at the behind the scenes of that movie had like so many hangups. I think there's like 4 different directors. I think there's like so many different writers because they kept having problems with this person or that person. Like, but
Well, Wizard of Oz it has a history in general
yeah,
of having
yeah.
weird, crazy. Didn't like a midget freaking hang themselves in the original for Wizard of Oz?
That's that rumor, and that's the rumor that's what I believed when I was growing up. And there's other things that like
Yeah, am I not supposed to say midget?
I get. I still ignore little people.
Am I gonna get canceled out for saying midget? Should I stop saying midget?
He's not saying it in a bad form. He's not. He's not. Saying. Look, I don't know. I don't know how that goes. Are we not supposed to say midget?
Well, I don't know. Do I get canceled if I say midget, or do I should I just stop saying midget, or should I just keep saying it?
Don't say spec. Spec is bad. Remember. And not
What's
related to comics, but related, from Willow. That's what they kept calling Willow. That was the derogatory term they used for little people specs.
But yeah, but
No,
Oz had a lot of history with kind of crazy shit that would happen on the film set and the hanging midget.
I want to say that's one of the earlier conspiracy theories that I think I might have come across in life was the whole everything that went into the Wizard of Oz thing, because I came across that early. I want to say in middle school or something. I was hearing rumors about the little people had killed themselves, but when you actually look into the midget's okay. I'm technically married to Angel. What the hell?
All right.
No, but you think about it, all the stuff that went into that. They were filming during the Great Depression. They weren't making the money they were, So when you hear stuff like that, and then you hear oh, there was a guy that killed himself on set, it doesn't sound too far too far fetched or whatever.
Man, back then there was a lot of shit that would go down, and a lot of the movies that they buried and never brought up, but because Wizard of Oz was so high profile,
the true stuff, the stuff that we do know that happened in Wizard of Oz, like the Wicked Witch of the West. I forget her real name, but they actually burned her, and she actually had when she came up from that scene where she appeared from the fire, she actually caught on fire, and to this until I don't know if she's still alive. I'm sorry, but no, but to the as far as I know, she actually had physical burns that were left on her from that film. I kind of like knowing stuff like that. Did you know in Back to the Future 3 during that scene when Marty McFly was being hung by the bully? I can't remember his name, but as he was being hung in the middle of that square, he actually lost consciousness, and they had he literally died on set, and they had to bring him back.
I remember something vaguely. I don't know. I try to block out Back to the Future 3 from my mind.
Oh, I like that.
I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the whole Western thing.
It's funny because I was not a Western fan growing up. I didn't become a Western fan, and now I'm a huge Western fan, but I didn't become a Western fan until my later 30s or whatever. But
I like old school Western, like hardcore Western, like Clint Eastwood kind of shit.
the spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I just Back to the Future 3 just didn't do it for me. It really did. I was
liked it because it was you want to know why? Because it was the second movie. What was the coolest thing? Well, as a kid, it was the coolest thing seeing it. But it was the fact that the DeLorean flew and it was going to the future. We were actually going. So the cool thing for me in the third one is they had turned the time machine into the frame. Using older technology. I thought that was pretty dope. I want to say I haven't seen Back to the Future 3 maybe in a while, so it might be one of those things where it was more a more nostalgic watch.
Yeah, I think if you watch it today, I don't think it'll hold up for you. You watch it and you'll see. I saw it a couple of years ago. It just didn't. I was like, why did I even watch it in the first place? Kind of a thing. I know why I watched it because I was like, all right, it's Back to the Future, but I don't know. It's just not the worst movie ever, but it's definitely the worst of the Back to the Future movies.
Yeah, I'll agree on that note. But honestly, all three of them, I loved all three of them. It's one of the movies that me and my brother really want either to continue or to reboot. I know they probably never will, but I'm happy with my Rick and Morty version of it. But I mean, to me, that's one of those franchises that you could have kept doing multiple movies, and it's always one of those things where it's Hollywood gets their hands in it, and that's the reason we don't have that anymore.
I don't know. I just was never a fan of, Back to the Future. I liked it. I just wasn't in love with it the way other people are. I like it. I'll watch it, but that's how I feel about it. It's It's not my favorite Michael J. Fox movie out of all of them. I probably like Teen Wolf better.
Teen Wolf was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of
It was
Teen
just
Wolf.
a
I saw it.
stupid, funny, ridiculous
Oh,
movie.
I want to say I've
That's why I
only
like that.
maybe seen it like 3, 4 times. Like I'm a whole. That's like how everybody's like a huge Caddyshack fan. I was not like, and even to this day, I still don't like think it's that great of a movie. Yes, it has its funny parts, but it's it's like for me and my family, we were not a Goonies family. Like I have seen that movie a bunch of times, but I never thought it was the movie to freak out. And if I had that option of putting on movies back in the day, Goonies was way back in the selection of movies that would have been offered. But I mean, I get how like some people can be nostalgic and love that thing versus the way I came into it, because none of my friends were Goonie fans. I mean, we even played like I can remember playing Goonies the arcade game. I even remember buying Goonies 2 when it came out on NES. But as far as like loving that movie and wanting to rewatch it because it was such a no, it never was that for me. The one time watch.
I like that movie. I'll be honest with you. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I enjoyed the Goonies. I like the whole Cyndi Lauper soundtrack to it. Um, I like the little chunk shuffle, that
See
whole
that
thing.
that's yeah, I think that's like the funniest part of the movie is before they get into the whole adventure stuff is them at the house and
The little
the whole
Chinese kid with all his contraptions, where he like comes in like Batman with the freaking line and into the house. It's like I don't
See, and
know.
I liked him more in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like my family was more like because my
Oh, I
my
love
dad was
Raiders
a
of the Lost
huge
Ark.
my dad was a huge like Stallone and Arnold fan. So we grew up with all those movies in my house. And guess what? Even as a little kid, I was allowed to watch all that. My dad had this cool thing where like and I know it's bad that like oh your dad let you watch these rated R. No, what my dad did was he would watch these movies before he would let us watch them, and he would make sure he would like catalog the moments where it was like either too bloody or they had a sex scene. And what he would do when we watched them is he would just fast forward to those scenes because they knew they were coming or something like that. So like there was a couple movies that like might have had a sex scene or something like that, and I didn't get to see that until I was like in my teenagers or something. But that was like, I mean, I got to see Predator like as soon as it hit like VHS, and I might have been 9 at that time. Like I got to see like I saw Predator 2 in the theaters. We saw like with Arnold and like with Arnold and Stallone. I got to pass on all that because my dad loved that, loved those actors.
I had zero restriction on watching any of those movies. I usually would sit down and watch it with my parents. So they were European, so they were like a lot more open minded to this shit. When it came to like people being blown up or an occasional tit being shown or something like that. Now, I'm not talking about like any freaking hardcore movies. We're not watching Caligula together, but you know, when it came down to Predator and Aliens and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like my mom would like she loved horror movies. She didn't understand shit that she was hearing them say, but she would see the monsters come and get them, and she would make up her own stories as she's
Yeah,
watching because she couldn't understand English that well at that point at least. So I was almost like her translator watching the movies with her. So it didn't matter what age it was. So
no,
just
for me, because my family was big on
take it easy, Remy.
if it was rated R, like I couldn't, I did have restrictions and stuff like that. And I will say my parents were good in that regard as far as like monitoring, but they couldn't monitor us on everything because I go with my friends and stuff like that. But in my case, it happened where like I was already reading adult novels at a very young age. I was reading Stephen King at 8. I had started where I was already getting in trouble in school because I was reading like I didn't realize at the time either banned books or very adult books that I probably shouldn't have been reading. But my mom had realized that I was already like kind of experiencing a lot of adult stuff on other levels. So at one point, like I want to say, and it was one of my favorite birthdays, but I was 9, and I told my mom I wanted to do a sleepover, but I wanted to be a horror themed sleepover. And I asked I'd asked her what were the scariest movies she had ever seen and if I could watch them. And that night we ended up watching like The Exorcist, The First Alien. We watched
Did that scare
Pet
you?
Cemetery.
The Exorcist scare you?
No, and even to this day, it does not.
It scared the fuck out of me as a
But
kid.
the reason why, and I know the reason why, because I'm a huge horror fan, and the reason I'm a huge horror fan is because I want to be scared. I do not scare easily. There's a couple things that I am afraid of. I'm extremely vulnerable to heights. I'm very scared of heights, but it doesn't mean it restricts me. Like back when I was first on YouTube, I was working at Walgreens with where I was like 6 stories stuff, up on this little bitty grating. I mean, I'll do stuff like I've skydived, I've roller coastered. I mean, I love roller coasters, but that's my thing is like I love trying to get that scare. So, like, that was that intention was like, hey, mom, you're a horror fan. What are the scariest movies that you had seen? But the reason The Exorcist does not scare me, and none of those type of exorcism move, because I just didn't grow up in a religious house. Like religion was a different. It was, the way it was brought up to me, and I know might offend people, and I don't mean to offend people, but the Bible was right next to Star Wars on the bookshelves.
Howling
in
was
my
good.
house. The how? Oh, I love the Howling.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
honestly,
but
by the way, I don't know what they did with your collection. Why? What did you call? Did they donate it to the church after they called them? Is that what happened? I'm sure that I'm
I
sure there
gotta
was some
say,
pervert there that would have enjoyed your collection. Uh, but Mike, honestly, the thing that scared the shit out of me about Exorcist, I don't think it's the movie itself that scared me. It was the whole way it happened. Like we had just moved into a new house. Like it was still under construction. We had the thing. I snuck down. I was like 7, 8 years old. I snuck down in the middle of the night, and they had one of those late night features. Back in the days, they had like on Channel 7 and ABC. They would show like the late night creature features, where it would show like some scary movie as hell, and so sometimes it with no advertisements as well. It was like
yeah,
after 12, so I
yeah,
always snuck down there. I saw it. Like I'm in like a house that's like looking like shit. Like it was under creaking and all that stuff. Unfinished basement. I'm sitting and watching that thing, and I'm watching it. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. And I'm Greek, so um, the priest talks in Greek in the devil's voice,
yeah.
and I'm like, "What the fuck? This is
Yeah,
real.
that would have freaked me.
It's fucking real."
But that's the thing about horror movies that I do love. It is sometimes circumstantial. It's how you watch the movie. It's what you're going through. Because I can name all the movies that have scared me, and yes, there are movies that have scared me, and not very few. But I can. One of my favorite tales is how I saw Blair Witch Project. I was in Austin. We were
Oh,
camping
that
at the
did nothing
time.
for me.
No,
Blair
you
Witch
see,
did
we were
nothing for
camping,
me.
and we weren't real camping. We were camping in a damn cabin, and we actually drove into town. It was a 20-mile drive into town. We drove into town. We went to this little bitty, like nasty ass theater to see because it was an indie movie. It wasn't a Hollywood. You couldn't see Blair Witch Project in a big movie theater. And if you did, it was like some kind of exclusive release because it was an indie drop. But like, we went to this little bitty indie theater. We saw it, and the worst thing about the Blair Witch Project, it's only 45 minutes long. It's such a short movie. But not
Isn't
only
that
that, but
short?
like,
I didn't remember
yeah,
it being that short.
yeah, it's like 45. I think with the credits, it's 52
For
minutes,
me
something like
personally, it was
that.
40 minutes too long.
But like, okay, so like we left that movie theater, and like it didn't scare me when I saw it. I was kind of mad that it was short. Like some of the scenes were just like, because there wasn't a lot of explanation on the Blair Witch Project. You watch the trailers, and it was just like these people filming a documentary, and they just like something was the snot nose. That was my favorite part of the commercial. We're not gonna make it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it was the experience of going back to the cabin and having the creaks and the sounds, and that's what fucked me over. That's what scared me from it. It wasn't watching it. Nothing in the theater scared me. None of the concepts were in my mind. No, it was going
Dude,
back to
that
that
did not.
cabin.
It did not do any. Listen, I'm in New York City. I walk down the streets and I see crackheads. I see this. I did. If that doesn't scare me,
You think some little girl running like doing that is gonna scare the shit out of me? I
The
got
one
crackheads.
scary scene in that movie was the dude
I
in the
got
corner.
crackheads coming looking like that on a daily basis, asking me for $1. So like that scares me more. You know?
No, and Trev had mentioned that The Howling was the first movie that scared him. The Howling was good,
It was
but
a
it
good
didn't
movie.
scare me. The movie that scared me, and I mentioned it, was Leviathan. That was the first movie I remember seeing in the theater, and I snuck in to go see it. But I remember watching the movie like that, the whole movie. And I'd say the only other movie in the '80s that scared me, it was another movie I snuck into and saw way too early, but it was Friday the 13th, The Dream Warriors, and it was Nightmare on Elm Street like 4 or whatever it is. But and it's two scenes. It's the scene where like the dude starts turning into a cockroach. And
Oh my god, that's the grossest scene when they
it
break the
wasn't.
arms of the
You know, it's
lady.
not. It's not the visuals. The visuals were crazy and everything. It was the whole concept. They put that in my
Cockroach
mind
thing,
that
yeah.
somebody could turn into a cockroach. I was like, fuck, no, I don't want to be no cockroach. You know, no, but the other scene that fucked with me was the needle scene. And it's funny, my brother has he does not like needles. I don't have that problem. I mean, if you're telling me it's a vaccine, a shot, go ahead, stick me, I don't care. But no, that scene where she had he had made her like hands and needles or whatever, and then he was like making her like inject herself. That scene fucked me. I was like,
They do too much. The cockroach scenes freaked me out a lot.
no,
And
the
I think
cockroach.
in that same movie, I think there was a scene where the TV made arms come out and pull the kid,
Oh, the Johnny
girl.
Depp, the Johnny Depp scene.
No, not the Johnny Depp. I'm talking about wasn't there a TV scene where like
Yeah, he comes out and he grabs him and he like
no, and
smashes.
shoves the little girl's head into the screen. You're on prime time,
Yeah, I
bitch.
do
Or
remember that.
something like you're
I
on
think
prime time, bitch.
I think that was the first one.
I don't know. I don't think it was. I think it was either 3 or 4 that happened. It was at the mental institution. Which one was the mental institution?
Oh, I think that was 4. Because I think that's what the dream was. I think that's where because man, I haven't seen those movies in forever, but I think that was the 4th one was where they were in the mental hospital and that's why they had the Dream Warriors there because they were all like mental patients or something.
You know, I don't know. Like I have fun with the Freddy Krueger movies. I know they're shit, but they're fun.
I love them even to this
They're
day.
fun. They're fun.
I think the
Number
last
1
time
was great. Number 1, I think was perfect the way they made it, and I also think that when they did the New Nightmare, remember when they were like trying to be reality but going back, that was okay too. Okay, I don't think it was great. I thought it was okay.
Honestly, I've liked all of them except for in the reboot was okay. I'm not gonna say it was horrible, but it just was. It didn't have the same feel and everything as the first ones. But I loved all the original. Nightmare on Elm Street. It's even one of my favorites is Freddy versus Jason. And
I had a lot of fun watching that movie. I know people shit on it.
I'm in the minority where I was mad that they weren't, because they were in talks of doing 2 after that because of the success of JD versus, Freddy versus Jason. They were talking about.
Well, they're supposed to add Ash into it as well.
Well, the first one was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason versus Leatherhead and Leprechaun, which I was super excited for that. I thought that would have played out. I thought that would have played out like crazy cool. Leprechaun and Freddy.
Leprechaun, by the way, Jennifer Aniston debut on Leprechaun 1.
Yeah, first movie, right?
Evil Dead was great. Honestly, Evil Dead. You want to talk about cabin movies? That scared me more with cabin movies rather than freaking Blair Witch.
I didn't see Evil Dead the first, I want to say until like early 90s. I think it was like when Ash and Evil Dead came out. I think I hadn't realized it.
How's it going, K-pop?
That it was a trilogy, and I went back and watched Evil Dead 1 and 2. And I'm kind of in that pool where I like Evil Dead and everything, but it's not in my top horror movies. I kind of like Ash versus the Evil Dead more than the first 2. I like the whole chainsaw and the whole comic-y gimmick. I love that movie.
It's just a fun watch. That's the way I look at it. I don't think of it like as a cinematic masterpiece. I like what he did with the videography. With those like flash like zooms, and he's the first guy to actually make that into like a thing. I like what he did with that because you never had that really as a thing before that. So I like that.
it was just a fun, weird, jerky movie to watch. Like I like those things. But I'm just gonna give everybody a heads up. In about 6 minutes, I'm gonna end the stream, and I'm gonna ask everybody that's in the stream if you want to jump over to Bleecker Street. He's doing his sermon. His Sunday sermon. He does a live stream. He has people jump on. It's a hangout over there, and I want to see his channel grow as well. And I want to see him get as many subs as possible. He's a great freaking community guy, and little by little, people are getting to know him. So I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna make an absolute point of ending at 10:45 when he's going on there. So we don't, or maybe I'll go 10:46 to make sure that we do a good transition. Make sure everybody gets pushed into there, and then when you go in there, and you go into that, we're here for Sunday sermon, or Sunday semen, or whatever you want to say that's going to be in there. No semen. Okay, whatever. But I'm gonna make sure that everybody gets in there. I'll throw in the link again before I go in there. I just want to give everybody the heads up. I know we're having a great conversation on here. Hey, maybe we could continue the conversation on that channel as well. But I want us to grow together. You know how they say grow together, Mike. They say grow together. I think it's half the people that are talking about. I think that half the people that are talking about growing together are full of bullshit. But hey, let's grow. Let's try to help everybody grow. Bay, you don't need my push, man. You're freaking going to the moon all by yourself, but you got my push regardless. You know what I'm saying? Actually, Bay, I'm struggling with the CBC awards right now because Bay is one of my top contenders as far as rookie channel of the year. I'm struggling. What's that?
Then vote for him. Why are you struggling?
Well, I'm struggling because I have another one that I think is really good too. And I'm like, the other one is Comics and Chaos with True Nerd King and Rage Theo. That's another one that freaking blew up in the past 6 months. Those are the only two viable ones, at least for me, as being my top choice. Bay is probably the most fun channel that's showed up in the past year. I think he's got a fun channel. He's got a good attitude. I like what he does. I don't know. It's gonna be.
My thing is, I'd go for him. Who's more fun? Who do you watch more? Who do you get? Like actual content from, learning.
But I'm a hard ass when it comes to sitting and getting technical on people's votes. Like I try to take it as seriously as human possible.
I don't just vote to vote.
I'm not a big believer of popularity contests, and I'm not a big believer of hey, you're my friend. You're not the best, but I'm gonna vote for you anyway because you're my friend. No, you're my friend. I hang out with you, and I want to have a cup of coffee with you, or a drink with you, or chill with you on the streams. But that doesn't mean you're the best, and it doesn't mean I should take away a vote for somebody that really truly deserves it. That's the kind of way I look at it. So, so
you could do the whole support to support, but in my opinion, that doesn't work. I mean, there's too many people to support. I mean, no, you're supposed to be voting for, who is the best or who's the best to you, or stuff like that. I don't. I'm not just voting for my friends because they're my friends. We got too many friends. I mean, there's not enough.
Well, that's the thing. And you're gonna have another friend that's gonna get hurt at the fact that you voted for your other friend, and the other friend is gonna. It gets complicated. So I look at it like this. I'm gonna do my best because I'd like to see these award things become legitimate at one point, like a legitimate thing where like YouTube actually pays attention to them and says, "Hey, this is a real award thing." Maybe we could push this a little bit, and maybe we could push everybody as a participant in it, or whatever the case is. That would help everybody. But the only way to get to that point is to make it legitimate. So I'm hoping that it gets legitimate at one point and get bigger. Like I got into a whole argument with Biggie the other night as far as whatchamacallit, voting for larger channels that are not in his consideration as far as part of the community. I think they're all part of the community. I don't care if it's. I
I'm
don't
not
care if
voting for
Comic
people I don't
Explained
watch.
Comic Explained. I don't care that he doesn't come into our chats and hang out in our streams. He's still part of our community.
Yeah, he is.
Comic tropes, comic pops. Just because they don't hang out with us in our community and in our little streams doesn't mean that they're not part of the big comic community. They should get their props the way they should. So I'm going to do my best to try to I'm going to be getting a lot more interviews coming in from these other ones to see like how we could like integrate with everybody a little bit more. What's going on, Rude?
I want an explanation on why they don't interact with the rest of us. What's the reason why they don't hop in a chat once a year, or that'd be my because the word community, it does mean something. And yes, I agree, they are all a part of the community. But as far as like, the interaction with the community, that's a whole different topic. And that's kind of like that, in my opinion. And I think Trev's right. We all have different opinions. We all have different things we like, different content we like, stuff like that. But like, when it gets down to it, and I'm thinking about the comic book community, that does play a big part. If you're not interacting with the rest of the community, like my biggest pet peeve is like some of these bigger channels don't even comment back on your comment. And yes, they got like 2,000 comments, but like, I'm talking about years later, I still haven't received a comment back, on my comment or something. And that's probably my biggest issue with the bigger channels.
It's really tough. It's really tough to be behind a person that's not interactive with you. But again,
like some of those things,
I look at some of these bigger channels, like the Comic Explained. I see them almost like a TV show.
I do.
So think about it. Like if you send a letter to like somebody in a TV show, did you expect you would like to see a letter return or response?
Yeah.
But the odds that you're going to get that are very low.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's how I look at these channels. And by the way, Rude, you're a very smart man. This is an awesome stream, and that's why you should be on here and watch it. But I will disagree with you on this. If you're not on another stream, maybe it's not because you think it's good or sucks. It might be that you just don't know about it.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get everybody to fuck you, man. I lied to you. All right, it's 10:47. Okay. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a big push. All right. Everybody's gonna go over to Bleaks. Whoever feels like it, but go. All right, if you feel like it. But no, go and like go show your support. Tell them that we're what do they call it when you go into another channel and just bombard them, raid them? We're raiding that channel. We're gonna freaking raid the channel. And we're gonna get old berserk on there, and join that sermon, and that's kind of what we're gonna do. And then I'm gonna end the stream, and then I'm gonna start my day off. And how's that sound? Does that sound like a good deal? No, this is probably the shortest stream you've probably seen from me in forever. So enjoy. All right, Mike. Appreciate you as always.
Oh, yeah.
You're awesome. Chat, you're awesome. Thank you. That's it. Go to Bleak. Okay?